I get to say we just see what they say. Real genuine dude. I got some. Rip was gonna come by too, but he gonna do
Yeah, after bar radio.
Yeah.
Like, I was the king of Philly, man. After bar radio, man.
Right.
Just know why with that chit I'm on the road, cause just that planet, this that big bang. It's a different day, no same story, nigga. I've been winning, retired like I'm Robert Boy, nigga. They stuck, they know me, but I'm here to make my story bigger. Keep that life before always know I had that clipper. She act gilly, didn't know my life. If they stop getting out of line, I bet I'm gonna get them.
I say about that.
I mean, it happens.
What I always say, I got
It happens.
they just know I live in front of my bro. Came on, they just know I got a vision. The skull got a strain, y'all so know. Product missing government when I stay home. A proper politician. Had to carry that weight, never dealt with the opposition. My homie trying to beat the case when I ain't a politician. I'm trying to cop a bourbon, he caught up with a lot of pictures. And I can never chase when ain't no living down the riches. I'm on low, I've been asking where your bitch at. She on the phone.
Look, it's amazing by itself.
Oh shit.
You and your own, just know why with that chit chat. I'm on the road, cause this that planet, this that big man.
You okay?
I'm on low, I've been asking where your bitch at. She on the phone, trying
Got a
to figure
lot
out where
going
you
on before the show. My laptop was acting up. Trying to do my PE.
Stressed out.
Yeah, it's
Well, when I came in, I smelled herbal medication, so
yeah, definitely, always.
you way too mellow right now. I'm scared.
Yeah, because I've been chilling because I ain't really eat. I ate early.
Oh.
Hey,
So
Tona.
I got to feed
I
out.
mean, did you go on?
Yeah, I was
I've
ready
been
to check out
asking where your
last
bitch
night.
at. She on the phone, trying to figure out where to get lit. You and your own, just know why with that chit chat. I'm on the road, cause this that planet, this that get back. I'm on the road, I've been asking where your bitch at. She on the phone, trying to figure out where to get lit at. You and your own, just know why with that chit chat. I'm on the road, cause this that planet, this that get back. It's a different day, no same story, nigga. I've been winning, retired like I'm Robert Boy, nigga. They just thought they know me, but I'm here to make my story bigger. Keep that life before it with me. Always know I had that clipper. She act gilly, didn't know my fault, but I'm gon' skip her. If they stop getting out of line, I bet I'm gon' get them.
Yeah, so this might be the last show. Might take off next week. And then I'm off from Sports in the Hill after tomorrow for 2 weeks for our 6-year anniversary tomorrow. So we take it off. So we get
I don't know. You look like a toy, like you know when kids be trying to make their toys dance. That's what you look like.
My homie trying to beat the case when he ain't no pocket pistol. I'm trying to cop a bourbon, he caught up with a lot of pigeons. And I can never chase when ain't no love when you got them riches. I'm on low, I've been asking where your bitch at. She on the phone, trying to figure out
we been lying in the club.
where your bitch at. Just know why with that chit chat.
Don't be in the
Now your eyes
club.
low already, bro.
Right.
It's been a good day.
I've been asking where your bitch at. She on the phone, trying to figure out where to get you.
Where you was gonna get it?
I don't know. It ain't
You
give me
take
no
it.
fucking.
Wait,
It ain't
it's
give me no
taking you
fucking
like
option.
20 minutes.
Well, look, you see what's something. It ain't
No,
gonna give me
because
no
it's all about
option.
you.
You know what? See, black people.
Oh, you call me black. That's so
I'm talking
nice.
about your shirt.
Shut up.
Yo, what's up, what's up? It is the world's most dangerous podcast. What's going on?
Hey,
We got Lady Antoinette in the building.
hey. Hey, missed y'all last week.
She was here, she just came after the show and brought some good food.
She was on the run going state to state.
Hey now.
You know.
Don't tell my business.
I didn't see what you was on this run for. You know, you obviously got it straightened out because you on the show tonight. So you know people.
Well, anyway, I bought y'all a gift. That's all.
Yeah, it lasted like 10 minutes.
That's your fault.
It was good though. Finger looking good, baby.
Wow, that sounds real explicit.
Oh, Lord.
Hey, came from Virginia, man. You never know.
What?
CP3,
he already being disgusting.
Because man, it's a beautiful day. You know, we had a crazy couple of days in the DMV. It was 60 on Friday. Had my jacket off outside trying to sell some cars and coming to work on Saturday, and it's a damn blizzard. I'm like,
it was not a blizzard.
If it was
just...
I mean, if it was colder, if the ground wasn't warm, we'd have been under about 4 feet of snow yesterday.
If it was more snow, because the wind was there.
Oh,
it was
man.
there.
And you know, I was down in Waldorf, down yonder, so you know.
Down Wakanda.
You know, so
you
it's a
down
little,
Wakanda.
Right.
Yeah, you know, so it's a little bit deeper down there. I don't know. Yeah.
A little nippy.
Yeah, man. I wasn't even trying. You know how cars sometimes, cruise a lot, and sometimes we, go out in the lot try to meet them halfway.
You was like,
if they don't pull up to the front door, I ain't going out there chasing. One cousin went out there trying to chase a cousin. He went down one line, went down another.
Nah.
Rolled by, he waved at him. He went out the lot. I was like, and then his umbrella blew away while he was out there. I was like, see, that's what happened when you're out there chasing cousins.
So you were standing at the window waving.
Ain't nobody sell nothing yesterday.
I'm sure.
It was crazy.
It wasn't a good day.
Oh man, my mama calling me. Let me exit stage right real quick. My mama calling me, so something. Yeah.
I know.
I'll be right back.
What you do?
I don't know.
What you do, CP3?
CP3 almost 50. He's about to get a beating.
Well, he deserves it because some of the stuff he does is off the hook.
She might have tuned into the show.
So tuned in. She probably tuned in when he was selling. Where my bitch at?
Right. Yeah. There you go.
What's going on with you, Lady Internet?
Nothing much. I have some plans that are coming up, some big moves. I'm gonna talk to you guys afterwards, but definitely some good things coming up. Remember I told you about the distillery where I'm a founder of? That's coming along really well because of COVID and a lot of issues. A lot of things are moving slow. Even now, things are moving slower than expected, but it's coming along. Certain things we need in different areas of Maryland. We need some type of representation, and we need different types of establishments, so I'm very excited about that. But as the weather's starting to break, y'all gonna get some new alcohol coming soon. Get these distilleries up again. It's gonna be on. So y'all my guinea pigs. Y'all know.
We need to do a show from the distillery though.
Yes. And we can always talk to, off air I'll tell you which one, but we can always talk to one of the ones that I've already visited. Yeah. Because I like to try to talk to the owners and all of that.
Oh, definitely.
We can definitely probably get a tour, and that we can record and.
Oh yeah, we got the camera. We ready for anything with that.
Tour and record, and that'd be really fun. A field trip. And see, this field trip, y'all probably ain't gonna have to spend as much money as I make y'all spend on other field trips.
Yeah, your field trips be expensive.
I'm sorry. Speaking of.
What you blinging on today?
No, I got my Invicta, the one that's similar to the one CP3 had that he stole from me.
Oh, the one he stole from you?
The one he stole.
Ah, shit.
So this is similar. It's gray and rose gold.
Stunning hard.
I'm just saying, I like nice things, but I like a good deal. You can't pass up a good deal.
Yeah, stop saying that. That's gonna make me.
It's the truth.
It's gonna make me run to Invicta for no reason next week.
I just came across something that was gonna have me in Punta Cana in the next couple of weeks.
Oh shit.
I was like, wait, what? Airfare included? Yep. So, but I'm definitely planning out this spring. So I'll let y'all know.
Before you got here, I was watching the Bel Air thing.
Okay. How do you feel about that?
I feel like they're messing with my childhood, man.
Because it's serious?
It's not a bad show, but I don't think it's my taste. It's they have some good points. Me and CPP was discussing some of that. I'm still trying to get into it. I mean, Carlton's a cokehead.
Okay, I'm glad you said that. I am a true Fresh Prince of Bel-Air head, okay? Now, on the original show, Carlton did do drugs.
He did?
Yes. They had a school dance or something. Carlton took some pills. and was tripping. Like he was doing a Running Man like extra fast and all kinds of stuff. That was an episode. So they did touch on Carlton doing drugs on the show.
So CP3 had pointed out, because he was like, well, being how he was raised, that's quite possible.
Right.
But also about Lisa's name. So there's a lot of good elements, like when she says her real name, because I never paid attention to the last episode when they got married. I always just assumed, what's her name?
It was Beulah.
Yeah.
That shit was hilarious.
So, but in CP3, when she says it here, he's like, oh, they kept that from the show.
It's a lot of things that people didn't realize.
So even the friend Trey, came to visit him before from the show. So I mean, it's some good elements. It's I'm trying to give it a chance.
Yeah. It's the other side.
It's hard. It's like
that's kind of why I haven't watched it. I've heard a lot of people talk about it. I'm definitely trying to check it out. He was watching it, like I said before, so I was just picking up on some of this stuff. But it gives, like, we got the national television version of how things would be if you move Philadelphia inner youth into the Bel Air community. Now you're getting the unadulterated, the reasons why and what really goes on in those environments when you have a prominent black family moving into that environment. What I'm assuming from what I've heard.
I mean, Jeffrey did some gangster shit.
But Jeffrey was gangster, and it was
a
few times in the original show they was like, hold up, Jeffrey? Like Jeffrey was pulling bad chicks and everything.
Man, Jeffrey put a hit out on the drug dealer that was trying to kill Will.
Remember they went to a pool hall or something? Jeffrey, come on now. Jeffrey was a gangster.
Remember he was the butler for Chuck Norris, man.
There you go. Yep. And see, the thing is that one thing I like about the concept, and I'm going to be real, I'm not really interested in watching the show. Guilty. But I'm really not. But I don't watch a lot of TV. But I will say this. I think that the concept is really good because over the years, people who are fans of the show, they love the show, but they say, oh, it's not realistic. We'll listen to that. And this is a result of...
Now we did, that's something that me and CP, we used to just take the conversations before the shows.
Nah.
Because that's something we talked about, was that we did enjoy the realistic, like, I was like, you know what? That's how I talked as a teenager. It wasn't probably, it was like, yo, I cussed, I said ignorant stuff, and we laughed, we joked, you say stuff under your breath, but that's realistic.
Right.
And it's realistic for this age too.
And it's good because I'm going to be real with you. Back in the day when Fresh Prince of Bel Air came out, we needed that comedy. If we would have gotten the Fresh Prince of Bel Air that we have now back then, it would not have been as successful.
True.
So that show opened the door for this show. People want more drama now versus the comedy that we had back then. Things were lighter,
it was.
In media. It was just lighter. It was, he was just, I don't want to say flamboyant because a lot of people associate that with homosexuality, but in a sense, he came in being flamboyant. He wasn't really a gangster. Will Smith never has been accused of being a gangster. Let's be real here. And the storyline was, it wasn't quite something that we were willing to handle at that time. It wouldn't have been successful.
Well, the thing about it was, what I liked about the story about the original Fresh Prince was his uncle was a lawyer. His uncle, outside of the Cosby Show, The Different World, we didn't see a lot of blacks.
Hit the door. Sunlight Dawn Fido.
Okay.
I was just checking that.
But not just that he was a lawyer. Don't forget, Anviv was a professor.
Yes.
So that was another factor. And you're right, we didn't see that. And if you think about it, the original show did really touch on some very sensitive matters. They did talk about racism. They did talk about the fact that Uncle Phil, being in the position that he was in, had to deal with some racism. They talked about the father not being there. That was probably the most extreme show ever.
That is the most, because growing up, I didn't have my father there.
Right.
So when he's crying to my Uncle Tyrone was my Uncle Phil.
There you go.
So I really felt that.
Right.
And even if you did some of that.
Yeah, he did. And honestly, James Avery, he credits James Avery for that being such a powerful scene because, well, on top of that, James Avery, you know, his background is theater. You know,
Yeah.
he wants that passion, that feeling, that intensity, and that was good. So we had those moments. However, I feel like if Fresh Prince of Bel-Air back then wasn't the way that it was, it would not have been so successful, and it would not have opened the door for this show.
So, but I will say this, like, I'm not really a super duper fan of the show, but they deal with real stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like, one of the things was, like, I guess episode two or three was, they were playing Bobby Smurda, and the white boy was singing Hot Nigga. And Will flipped out, and Carlton defended his white friends. And I was like, yo, that's a real topic.
But of course,
and
back
didn't shy
then
away
he
from
did
it.
have to check. And in the original show, he had to check some of those white friends who thought they were going to be like Will. He had moments, you know. But yeah.
So I thought that was a dope part. So like I said, it's a good show. It may be not for me. Maybe season 2 may get better, but you know, it could be one of those things. Is like that's my childhood, and you know that's sacred to me. You know.
Yeah, it is. And honestly, we were, when you take a step back, we really weren't that young, but we were young.
Well, you know, I was, it was my high school hood. It wasn't really
but
my
still,
childhood.
but in a sense that, you know, you were
remember coming
underage.
home from school and coming home and watching the joint, you know, while you're doing your homework and shit, you don't want to fuck.
Wait, what time did you come home? That came on in the evening.
Well, you heard about
Well, CP3
my
probably had-
homework got done. That's all that mattered, all right? It didn't matter what
You should have
time.
been done
It
with
was
your homework
turned
by
in
then.
by the next day, okay?
No, he had detention.
Yeah, I had other things I had to do before I
I'm
came
sure you
home,
did.
all right?
I'm sure you had to make a
The
couple
work
stops
got,
on
yeah,
the way
the work
home.
got done though. That's all that mattered.
Were you threatening teachers? What you doing?
I mean, sometimes I needed to pass some grade in a certain class. You know.
And what did you do for those passing grades?
No, I just, you know, talk to them passionately. Let them know
Passionately.
passionately.
How
How
passionately
passionately was
this?
Somebody was crying at the end of the conversation.
A
Now,
good
I'm not
cry
gonna
or
say
bad
who.
cry? Because I
I'm
don't know
not
what
saying.
you.
I'm not getting the details.
Look, I don't know what
Yeah,
you.
so just to say I graduated on time.
So you know me, when I get bored, I like to watch a lot of different things. So I was bored this week, so I was watching what's that shit called? The World's Worst Roommates. It's on Netflix.
Jeez, I'm afraid.
That sound bad.
I'm afraid to even
I
watch
am
that.
too.
So it was this lady who
Cause
was
I'd
like,
kill her.
it was this lady. She was in her 50s, but she pretended to be in like her 70s,
Oh, wow.
and she was taking in people and she was killing them for their Social Security checks.
Oh wow.
It's wild. I was like, oh. There was a dude that was a serial squatter. So he would come, and so the moral of this is don't put an ad on Craigslist, cause
Leave them Craigslist motherfuckers,
Yeah.
so he would find people on Craigslist, and he would show up, and then he'd be like, oh, well, I'm ready to move in. And he had like a U-Haul parked outside, and he give you
Like
the
the
sob
first
story.
meeting?
Yes. So he'll give you the sob story about how he went broke, you know, from like his mom or something, and then he would get there. He would start rearranging your house. He took the lady's living room and took all her chairs and put them in her room,
I got a deep freezer.
and he would just do.
I'm
He
just
would do
saying.
several things like that, and then he would get violent with people, and he
And they never like, cause you can go through the courts. to
They
get
wanted,
them out.
but here's the thing. But he had squatters' rights.
Squatters' rights. It draws it all
So
out.
he knew he had a. They went through his bag. He had a mountain of stuff of people trying to. He knew his squatters' rights. He knew if he got a certain amount of mail there, something. They. He tricked this one lady, and he called the cops on her and got her put out of her house. But he went not going to jail because his brother bailed the lady he attacked. Because he got physical, he crushed her windpipe and he like cut her or something.
And that's when you go through the court.
And his brother had got him out of jail, and then he wound up killing his brother because he was like jealous of his brother.
Here's my thing, and the reason why I say
There's some crazy stories on
squatters'
there.
rights or not, when you want to get the person out, you can get them out, especially if they get violent with you. Because it's called a protective order.
But he was so like
You can get an emergency protective order, a temporary protective order, and a permanent protective order.
But the lady, but like Lady Antoinette,
it's hearings and shit to get involved.
Yeah, but you can both be on the mortgage, and that can happen. You see what I'm saying?
Lady Antoinette, the lady he did that to, the other lady he did that to, he put the protective order on her.
Yeah, he got sued before.
She wound up losing because she had went through a divorce and she needed a roommate to pay for her condo. She wound up losing her condo because he put a protective order on her. He got her kicked out of her house. Then finally, Hurricane Sandy happened, and she was like, well, fuck, I'm just gonna go stay with my mom or whatever. And she stayed with her mom and took all her food and stuff. And then eventually, when she came back to the house, he up and left because he had nothing.
Right.
But one lady he stayed with, he stole her cat. He had a dog. He stole her cat.
Wait, they letting him move in with the dog?
Yeah.
See, this is why I don't like people. This is why when it comes to people staying in your house, you got to be real careful.
Yeah, you do. And but it was just really crazy. And there's this other story. There's another dude that was it was an older dude that fell in love with like a younger woman, and he went and she was just letting him stay there for free to be nice because he had nobody. He spent $10,000 to get his face to make it look like he was younger.
I'm sorry, you gotta be a real disturbed person.
But he wound up killing her.
Did you know in the state of Texas, if your man is living with you for 6 months, that is common law, and in order to separate, you would have to get a divorce.
It's a couple of states like that.
You would know, wouldn't you, CP3?
I was going to move to Texas, but that's vital information that I need prior to going. Nobody will ever stay in my house, okay?
Yeah, I think Maryland, if you have mail coming to a residence for 6 months, you have some type of domain.
Right, and then they have to put you out.
Yeah,
but I'm talking about, you got to divorce people. This is different.
Well,
okay, Maryland does not recognize common law.
Yeah.
And that's the part right there. I'd rather evict you than to sit here and have to divorce you. And no, Virginia does not.
No, it's a Commonwealth.
Yeah, but I used to live in Virginia with a man, and thank God I did not have to go through that.
Well, you did. Then you said you had
So
to
CP3,
I did have to cut him, but that's a different story. We're going to talk about that later.
So let's get you, because I know some sports things happen. You got to step away for a quick second.
Yeah.
So Aaron Rodgers,
no.
is he worth $200 million?
Well, you've heard me. I don't know if I think I've said on this show before, I feel like he's overrated.
And I have been a supporter.
Yeah, and after that $200 million deal for 4 years, $50 million with $153 million guaranteed. He's putting his team in the same situation as a team in his division with Minnesota in their stat pattern. Kirk Cousins, with his, $84 million guaranteed contract where they can't get any other talent around him because of the salary cap situation. They're trying to trade him now, and you have players like Stephon Diggs, that's one of the top wide receivers in the league, that spent one season with him and took his ass to Buffalo. He said Minnesota wasn't cold enough. He said, I'm going to go to fucking Buffalo to get away from this motherfucker.
And Buffalo did better than them.
Exactly. Kirk Cousins and Aaron Rodgers. I feel Aaron Rodgers is a more accurate Kirk Cousins. That's just my opinion.
I was about to say, because Aaron, you can't compare them two, because Aaron is much better than Kirk.
Accurate.
I give him that.
But how much is guaranteed from that $200 million?
153.
Damn.
Exactly.
So this is how petty I am. So I was talking, and a Packers fan came for me the other day.
Oh, no.
And was just like, oh, you a Giants fan? Oh, your team sucks. Your whole division sucks. Just to start going in, and I was just like, I hope I looked at him. And I said, I swear, I hope the first game your quarterback gets his leg broke.
That's so mean.
And you can't do no trades because your salary cap.
Here's my thing. I am a big supporter of Aaron Rodgers. I love him as a quarterback. However, being a supporter of his, there is a point where you have to, be realistic about things. You can't be a supporter and just be unrealistic. This man is how old?
36.
And that's ancient in football years.
And they still
I mean, you know, people.
And real talk, he look older than 36. That's the bad part.
Yeah, the hard
Been
life.
in Green
He
Bay.
looks like it.
Been in Green Bay. It's cold. Ain't nothing to do out there
You
but
know
eat
what?
and smoke cigarettes and
You
go
know
ice
what?
fishing. What the fuck? What do you think he gonna look like?
But I'm just saying, at
Ice
the end
fishing
of
and
the day,
cheese.
You know what I'm saying?
you know what? But at the end of the day, as I think he is a wonderful quarterback. I think he is a future Hall of Famer, and I think they overpaid. There is no way. Do you know how many quarterbacks are in the NFL that
He's the
could
highest.
actually deserve that?
He's the highest paid player right now, I believe, right?
Why is this old man getting that much money? I love Aaron Rodgers, I do,
Well,
but
they're
come on
fans.
now.
They're fans of Coach Cheeseheads, and that's
And
that's a
he's
lie.
and people say he's a jerk.
I got a hell of a rumor for y'all.
Uh-oh.
There's a rumor that Tom Brady might come out of retirement to go to San Francisco.
I am
For what?
tired of Tom Brady.
I don't want to see Tom Brady no
Real
more.
talk.
I'm just telling you.
I may
some
put a
of
hit
those,
out on him. Like I don't want to see.
I'm gonna need you not that is 151. That is
I
not
can't
the
be associated
opinion
with
of
the sports
everyone.
players because that's my fucking show.
Right.
So if you come on my show, you ain't got to worry about getting murked. All right,
Right.
I don't know where that came
We-
from.
Maybe he's
yeah,
drunk. We
yeah.
don't know.
Not yet. I'm just
That's
tired of.
sponsored by what's this bottle again? Yeah.
You gonna blame them?
I'm tired of Tom. Like I mean, I'm tired of him. This. I hate to hear his name mentioned with
Yeah.
football at this point.
Yeah.
I mean, I get it. I mean, like I said, it's just a rumor. Somebody now was
You should
talking
have kept
about
that
it.
shit to
Here's
yourself.
the
I'm just
thing.
saying.
His wife got a bazillion dollars. He's bored. That's real. That's what it is. I feel like that's the reason why he played so long because he ain't got nothing else to do. He's not a good house husband. Maybe he need to link up with Kevin Hart and be on
The
that
Real
show or
Husband,
something.
right.
Yeah, something.
Oh,
He need to do something with his life, right?
Oh, so we do have to say rest in peace to Tracy Braxton.
Yes. Yes.
She passed away yesterday, I believe,
Mm-hmm. At
um,
50.
at 50.
That's pretty
Also,
young.
before the show came on, William Hurt, who played Thunderbolt Ross in the Avengers movies, and he's been in a whole bunch of other movies.
Mm-hmm.
He passed away today
Right.
at 71.
Yeah.
And we'll keep in prayer for Big E from the WWE.
What happened to him?
So the WWE called up this dumbass dude named Ridge Holland, who should have stayed in NXT for 8 billion years because he doesn't know how to wrestle.
At all.
He went to do an overhead belly-to-belly suplex, but he did it not in the ring, but on the ground. He didn't flip. Big E is
It's big.
The dude name is Big E, so he's not a small guy.
Mm-hmm.
He did it the wrong way, and Big E fractured
No.
his C1
Mm-hmm.
and his.
That's why you
6.
can't. When people talk about wrestling, and they talk about, oh, it's not real, and this and this and that, it may be scripted to a degree, but it still can be very dangerous.
if it's not done. And the dude, the whole point of NXT is basically the developmental league, the startup league of wrestling, so you can perfect your craft and stuff
Right.
like that.
Right.
This dude,
he hasn't perfected.
this
that.
dude, basically he got there, he got hurt doing a run-in, and then his reward was they called him up. Out of all the people they fired last year, he should have been one of them.
That's crazy.
And then
That's-
he
wow.
was put in a situation where he hurt a star.
Yes.
You know, and that's not a good
And
look
then
for anybody.
one of my friends hit me up and said, well, he did the same thing in NXT, but he did it with a smaller wrestler, Johnny Gargano. I think doing like almost a similar move. So it's
That's sad.
because
It
the
is.
whole belly to belly flip suplex, like Taz was a small guy, but he used to flip people all the time. Kurt Angle could do it.
But that's because they perfected
Yeah,
their
the
craft.
art.
technique,
Yeah.
exactly.
Justin, what's his name? Justin Gable, I think is his name. He's there now. He can do it, but it's just no Chad Gable. That's his name. He can do it, but these dudes also have amateur wrestling backgrounds.
But you'd say
This dude was a
in my
former rugby
opinion,
player.
Essentially an amateur wrestler.
Yeah.
That's what he is to me.
Well, this dude's not even an amateur wrestler. He was a rugby player about 2 years ago.
Yeah.
So,
So meaning right now he's amateur. You don't put
He's
him.
super amateur. Like,
He should not have been in that situation.
he should have never been called up to a main roster. He should never been having like moves like that should be perfected before they try.
Before you, yeah.
And obviously he wasn't. He wasn't. And on some other wrestling sad news, Razor Ramon is in the hospital. He's on life support. Scott Hall is his real name. In the WWE, he was Razor Ramon. He had 3 heart attacks last night. Anybody who's followed wrestling and know his career, Razor Ramon did suffer from alcohol addiction and stuff like that. He is part of, and drug addiction too, but he was also part of the infamous plane ride from hell, in which Ric Flair ran around butt naked,
slinging stuff around.
he was slinging the man around. Brock Lesnar and Mr. Perfect Kurt Hennig got into a wrestling match
On the plane.
on the plane.
On the plane.
While the plane is in the
They
air,
were wilding all the way out.
and they bumped into the hatch. Also, this is not Razor Ramon's fault. This is not Scott Hall's fault. But somebody put downers in his drink. So they had been drinking for 2 hours because the plane didn't leave on time. They finished 2 alcohol cards
before the plane took off.
I
thought we talked about this before.
So
I don't recall. I don't remember that.
So all those theories that people used to have back in the day about wrestlers, this is the reason why.
this is the
Stuff
reason
like this.
This is the reason why you was watching Monday Night Raw one day and then half the staff wasn't there the next day. This is the reason why. And
but them wilding out. That's
Scott Hall had to be taken out on in a wheelchair. He was incoherent. And Just Incredible, they were scared because they had to pass the police, and they pretended like he had like an injury or something like that. But JR was like, good thinking, and he fired most of those people the next day. Kurt Hennig got fired. They didn't fire Brock Lesnar though.
They should have.
But Scott Hall was one of the people.
I feel like Brock Lesnar.
Just Incredible got fired.
I think Brock Lesnar was up and coming, so they
well,
that's why he was saved. You know,
he's probably WWE champion at the time.
Yeah, they loved him.
So.
But it was wild, and yeah.
Also, got to give a rest in peace to a good friend of mine, Facebook friend, and in real life, she's like a big sister to me. Dee Valentine down in Virginia Beach. She lost her battle with cancer this past week. Condolences to the family, prayers. I reached out to her daughter, much love. If you need anything, hit me up. Like I said, she was like a sister. I delivered a vehicle down there like 2 or 3 months ago. I hit her up. She wasn't feeling well. I wanted to go see her, but I wish I would have went back and, like, just let me come by and just say hi. So,
right.
Yeah, so, it's been a crazy weekend, for everything. But, yeah.
And cancer is real.
Yeah.
It's been taking people out.
I mean, 2022 has not been kind at the start.
Yeah.
No, we ain't even 6 months in.
Yeah, getting back to the sports of it, Washington Commanders traded for Carson Wentz for 2 third-round picks. A lot of folks.
How do you feel about that?
A lot of folks are upset. I can tell that Lady Antoinette isn't happy about it. I've been talking to a lot of fans. I don't have a problem with it. Only thing that is the cap number, $22 million.
Yeah.
That's a lot, but if they cut them next year, after
That's
that,
fine.
it's no cap hit.
Yep.
We're one of the teams that have the most amount of money.
Lady Antoinette has, if I don't care about Carson Wentz, was your face look on her face?
I mean, we're
under
the last part he just mentioned, I'm actually happy about that. So meaning if we try him out for 1 year and he sucks, which he probably will, then we can get rid of him.
But that's the thing that I don't understand. His only issue is staying healthy. If you look at his stats, he hasn't never thrown more than 10 interceptions in a season.
Right.
He has a great interception turnover ratio. He can actually read defenses, and the one X factor that he has over Taylor Heineke, he can throw his receivers open.
Right, and see, here's my thing. I think that he's a better choice over Taylor. I will give him that. However, we don't need a quarterback that it could be doing a stanky leg on the field again. We should be done with that. You know what I mean? We keep having these quarterbacks that are fragile.
But we have a better line than he's ever played behind. We have the 6th rated line in the NFL.
And I'm hoping, in reality, I'm hoping that this will work out. However, I don't feel that.
I get it, but if you look at it, he's the best quarterback we have with this team in a few years.
Yeah, that's sad. All that's bad.
He's went to the Super Bowl. Come on now.
What I'm saying is all of that's bad.
Not really when you're looking at trying to stabilize the quarterback position, and that also means, think about this, if they got him, 9 times out of 10 they're going to draft a quarterback because they're releasing Kyle Allen. Mm-hmm. Well, not releasing his contract is up, but they're not extending him. You still have Taylor Heineke. Now you have Wentz. You still have Steven Montez on practice squad, who's been there for 4 seasons. We've seen him in preseason. Mm-hmm. Nothing to write home about. So, to me, that means they're going to try to probably draft a quarterback. It's going to be first round. If, I don't follow college, but I know about the guy to Liberty. Rivera likes him. He liked him in the Cam Newton when he was in Carolina and drafted him.
Right.
If he falls to 11, they make that move. Now you have a proven quarterback, a proven backup quarterback. That means he can sit on the bench and learn.
Yep.
Under Scott Turner, who's learning his way in the NFL also. So this is his 3rd season running things. Mm-hmm. He has players that he knows what talent he has, so hopefully we'll see him more catering the playbook to the talents of his players. Mm-hmm. And that's the X factor with Carson Wentz, with the wide receiver we had, because everyone says our wide receiver core is the worst because we only have one wide receiver. Mm-hmm. But when you have a quarterback that can read defenses and throw your receivers open and get them the ball quick and let them make plays in space, then your offense is automatically going to get improved. And then that means your defense is going to get improved because they're not going to be on the field as long.
Correct.
Now, if you recall that 4-game winning streak the team went on last year when they shut down 4 of the best offenses and quarterbacks in the league, they had a 42-minute to 18-minute time of possession ratio. Right. You remember that 18-minute drive against Tampa Bay, the Super Bowl champions, to win the fucking game? That's what the offense is built around. That's what this offense can be. And that was Taylor Heineke. So imagine you get a quarterback that has more experience and can read defenses better and is not going to set his wide receivers up throwing high over the middle and getting them on fucking IR.
See, I'm gonna say like this. I'm gonna say it like
I've been dealing with this all week.
I feel like it can be an improvement, right? However, as a lifetime fan, we keep getting in situations where it can be an improvement, and then there are times where it's like, oh well, that didn't work out. I'm really, I'm kind of getting tired of it.
I get it. I get the frustration. I get that, but you can't blend what was going on then. But now we have an actual football mind in charge of things.
Yeah, but here's the problem. We've had situations. Here's another thing I'm really tired of is we'll have players that, they're a great player, blah, blah, blah. They come to our team. They suck. They move on to another team.
And they get better.
And they go and play in the Super Bowl.
Let's say
different teams have different schemes.
I know. And that's my frustration with our team.
Let's take a quick music break.
That happens with a lot of teams.
I know.
It happens a lot with your team, though.
Yeah, it happens a lot with a lot of teams.
But I'm still a fan. Don't get it twisted, y'all. This is really good. You really should have some.
I know that it's lit at this bulldog. I felt like a bank with the roll in my jeans.
Is the mic on? Did you cut your mic? Good, because I don't need nobody reaching out to us about your feed. Do you want some?
He has a hell of a drive.
What year drive? The play there?
Early 90s for the other side. Old school, come and holler at me. I ain't claiming nothing 95. 96 do a trick on the dick. 97 be fucking.
Yeah, I might be going to Brady
another nigga, they just Same name, but it ain't in the
Oh,
quick.
word.
Jock to me is the dick right. Get the hell out my way, ho. Eyes on me like some sunglasses, gotta shine on them what they made for. If I'm a boss on the shot, call on the mama 16 to a 24. If you do the math, that ain't really bad. I ain't double up, but I was fucking close. Ask around, they say I do the most. Looking for me, nigga, something like a ghost and just a hunt, nigga. Get smoked like a blunt, nigga. Looking like a liquor, you a cut, nigga. You can't afford to smoke, cause I'm rush, nigga. I'm excited, breathing, you much, nigga. Big shit out the bunch, nigga. Big B's on you bum niggas. I just pulled up in the Maybach. Millennium bitches like what's that? Hey, nigga, you drop her on my thumb sex. And while I put up the roof like an angel. She told me don't be I don't need a word full of gas. And I remember what my daddy told me. He's supposed to be a little rapper. Shake back, he had to fun now. But I'm taking with you learn now. Gonna tell I'm pulling out it's my money now, want it now. You can get wet, cause the check work.
This who's this? He reminds me of Yaz. You know who Yaz is, right? And then it's, I think that's a good name. The one that was on Empire.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Hakeem.
Yeah,
Hakeem.
yeah, from Hakeem.
And then his name, it's not Hakeem?
That's how I know.
Oh, okay. That's why I was like,
real name.
that's why I think his name Yaz. But you know, he can get locked up in the whole stuff. Yeah, he can beat on his girl or something. And his mustache was bad. I was like, baby, you shouldn't. And then Jussie in jail. I'm like,
Oh, yeah,
yeah.
we'll talk about that in a little. Come back.
That's what's going on. My parents think he's absolutely crazy.
We're gonna talk about that.
Catching me, nigga, you gon' need a shuttle. You heard me once, I know what bugs.
But yeah, he reminds me. When I looked over, I was like, wait a minute, who is that?
Good grammar and spelling are
Wait, what?
important. But if you want to write essays that inspire, messages that
Y'all know Uncle Barry got COVID.
Uncle Barry who?
Obama. That's Uncle Barry. Barry got COVID. Auntie Shell, she don't have it. She not. But he said all he has is a scratchy throat. And what? I heard something about the Queen moving out of the palace. What the hell going on with this world?
I just wonder why she ain't taking it.
Betty gone. Betty gone, but this heifer still walking around with a little dog.
I've been in the office since I was a kid.
Before you was a kid? What you mean? She was young as all them dogs when she came in the office. You ain't that old.
Prince Charles old as shit.
He is. He's still waiting, bless his heart. I think he gonna go before her.
He ain't gonna never be king.
And then look, Camilla was like, well, I'm gonna be queen. No, bitch, you're not. That's why she told Camilla. She was like, yeah, you can be queen. She told her. I'm like, nah.
You ever seen the movie? Was it Get Into the Greek? So Puppy's in that movie, and basically he's talking about them being, because they was basically getting the artist high to get in there, and he was like, man, Big Jagger's probably gonna outlive Miley Cyrus. He's like these British people. He's like, Big Jagger's probably gonna outlive.
Elton John, old as dirt, he been looking the same for 40 years.
Nigga, a robot.
Like Elton John, and if you look at the little story of his life, that brother, he could have been gone like a long time ago. I'm confused. Ozzy Osbourne.
How's he still alive?
What, yours? Yours or his?
Oh, man. Queen gonna put a hit out on us.
And Ozzy.
Hey, Ozzy, why you still here? Can't even understand what you said.
We can't understand nothing he said.
She broke my heart in the blood, we can leave a stain. I ain't a fool no more. Lost 3 niggas
The webcam.
in
Forgot to turn the webcam on.
I thought you. Lord bless you.
Yeah. So that video gets me all the time because at the end of that video, shout out to Pat Riley, Tuck Rockin' was in studio and he kicked the freestyle, and then a year later he wound up being killed out in Roanoke.
Right.
Or Norfolk, one of the two. I think it was Norfolk. But he was a very talented young man, and I was hoping to get him back in the studio.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, he passed. But we do have that moment, and that moment is special. So,
Right.
now, let's talk about some craziness. What's his name? Jesse Smollett,
Jesse
Smurfette.
Smollett. I'm not gonna be disrespectful to the Smollett
I thought we
family.
was through with this dude.
So
No, they kept going with it.
I know.
So, one, his brother just did something, and he was just like, well, they have him in a psych ward right now. And he was like, well, my brother's not crazy.
He's not suicidal.
Suicidal. We're trying to say he's really crazy, too.
Right, but here's my thing. I think Jesse has always been crazy,
Yeah.
but that doesn't mean he's suicidal.
Yes.
I still don't understand why he would do what he did, and the whole situation was crazy. I kind of knew it was overkill. I knew something wasn't right when you have a noose yelling racial and gay slurs, and they were Trump supporters. I'm like, that's a trifecta of hate right there. That's not just going to happen randomly. That had to be some made up shit. That shit just doesn't happen.
A lot of people, when they heard it, they said it sounds made up. It sounds like make believe. It also sounds like a Lee Daniels plot. I'm gonna be real with you. You always go with your gut. I personally feel like it was Lee Daniels.
So the funny thing
and
is,
there's so many things that point to Lee Daniels.
The funny thing is that I just remember the Dave Chappelle skit. Dave Chappelle, when he said it was racial. He said they put a noose over his neck. They called him they called him the F word. They called him the N word, and and they called something about Empire. He was like, what Trump supporter watches Empire? And when he said it, I was just like, yo, it's a joke, but that actually makes sense. He's like, that sounds like something I would say.
But here's my thing. So everything, in my opinion, okay, everything points to Lee Daniels. Whether Jesse was in on it or not, everything points to Lee Daniels. Lee Daniels was the one that recommended Jesse reach out to those two dudes because Jesse was never on set with them. He was supposedly trying to get his body right for his new video.
Trying to get us blackballed.
I don't care.
You see what he did to Monique.
No. Did you see what Dame Dash did to Lee Daniels? How about that?
He put the press on him.
How about that?
You ain't got Dame Dash money to do that.
It don't matter. Lee Daniels, let's be real.
Everybody, the real talk is everybody thought Dame Dash was crazy until the footage came out.
And here's my thing. So they say, oh, Jesse Smollett picture from his hospital bed was leaked. Oh, guess what picture was leaked? It was a FaceTime screenshot. Jesse was big. Lee Daniels was little. When you're on FaceTime with somebody, right? Who's in the big picture? The person you're talking to. Who's in the little picture? You. So that means that screenshot came from Lee Daniels' phone.
Can we trust you for that? Because you do have an Android.
Man.
First of all, anytime you video chat with somebody, anybody, any video chat that you do, that's how it is.
I don't be video chatting on that, so
Oh, I'm sure. I don't believe that not one bit.
I send still.
Sure. Anyway.
You know what?
Anyway.
You know what?
And then so Lee Daniels referred these gentlemen to Jesse, right? He's the one because he was never on set with these guys. These two guys were an extra. There's pictures of Lee Daniels with these two men.
Oh yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, there are pictures with him posing on set. They were the extras on Empire. Okay, so Lee Daniels referred them. Lee Daniels, it came from his phone, the little leaked picture, right? Also, Lee Daniels removed Jesse from the script for the show. right? All of a sudden, he was like, oh, I have his back, blah, blah, blah. All of a sudden, you pushed him away, right? You removed him from the script. You refused to put him back on the show. Fox renewed his contract. Fox said, no, we renewing Jesse's contract. Lee said, no, I'm not putting him on the show. Next thing you know, Fox said, oh, Empire and Star, which was another show he had, was done. It was over. Because he wouldn't put Jesse in there. So, I mean, why all of a sudden Lee Daniels hating? And then they were saying, oh, Jesse did it because he wanted publicity, because Lee wouldn't give him a raise, right? It was supposed to be a private conversation. If Jesse ain't tell the world that, who told that story? Lee. If it was just Jesse and Lee in the room and it got out and Jesse said, no, I ain't do it, who was going to be the one to tell? Lee.
I feel you.
And it sounded like a Lee Daniels plot.
I mean, I'm not saying you're wrong.
So I think it's
no
Lee.
beef with that dude.
Now, whether or not Jesse was involved, I don't know. But I feel like Lee's the mastermind.
I feel you. I'm not arguing with you. I'm just saying I don't want no problems with that dude. That's all.
Yeah, but Jesse, bless his little heart. That's all I can say. I like him though. I really do.
I like his sister.
So
you know what? He got more than one sister. He got two.
you got a fine sister, right?
Acting sister.
Both of them cute. All of them acted. You know that, right?
For real?
You don't remember that show? All the siblings was in one show.
Nah.
What was it called? You know what I'm talking about?
No.
The parents died, and the oldest had to take care of them. All of the Smollett family was in it, even little Jesse.
I stopped watching TV 6 years ago.
No.
It was on a regular TV
This
station?
was a long time ago.
Oh, yeah.
They were little.
Yeah. I don't know.
I
No.
have no idea.
If it wasn't wrestling or rap videos or violence, I wasn't watching.
And then the both of them, Jesse and Journey, they were acting as kids. So.
Yeah.
So I got a question, and I talked about with CP3, and he probably has a great opinion of this.
Okay.
So I saw this on Michael Basin Live,
Mm.
and he put a post out there, and it says, "Do threesomes help or hurt relationships?"
Mm.
So let's talk about this.
All right. I want to hear what he got to say.
This is a topic very close to my heart.
Oh,
I bet
wow.
it is. Is it to your
Tell
heart or to
me.
your belly button?
I've been blessed to have, bisexual girlfriends, and threesomes were on the table a lot. So
Okay.
there are rules that I would tell my
Put
friends.
the mic closer so they can hear your bullshit.
This is not bullshit. This is proven, dog.
Oh, this is
proven to
Okay.
work. If you're in a situation with a bisexual female, there are keys to the way to have as much fun as you like. Number one, never pick the girl. Never. Because no matter how fine she is, she's going to think that you might have a thing for her. That's why you picked her. Always let her pick the girl. Most of the time, their taste is pretty decent. They're not going to be, wanting to be with no scallywag or no egg with legs.
Scallywag. We still use that word.
I do.
Oh, wow.
I'm old school.
Oh.
Call it what
Bald
you-
head scallywag.
I ain't say bald head.
It was from a song. You don't remember the song?
I remember the song.
Okay, I'm sure.
You probably played it in your truck. Go ahead, continue.
On the way
Had
here.
a nice bass line. But never initiate the conversation about having threesomes.
Mhm.
You move too fast and you will get shut down before you even get a chance to even get a whiff of that so-called fantasy. And there's also a warning I give the fellas. If you don't know what you're doing, you can get hurt. Emotionally and physically.
Mm.
Because if you can't please one woman, don't try to do two. It might be your so-called fantasy, but if you're not in the right mindset and position, I've seen it wreck men's egos before.
So you heard a story where it went bad.
Yes, there are some. Like I said, that's what I tell it can go bad because some folks get over anxious and either one or two things happen. Old boy don't cooperate, or old boy go off too soon. And both of those situations, if the wah music come on, there's nothing you can do, and you're not going to get. Only if they're real cool, you will get a second shot.
So wait, do you have like a?
I have a handbook I'm working
No.
on.
Is there theme music to your life? He said, "Wow, wow, wow."
I told you working on the web series.
Did
I
you
got a
hear
soundtrack.
this?
Yes.
Did you hear this when things happen in your life?
That's why I'm working on the web. I got a soundtrack
So-
to my life.
So the person that told you that, did you console them or did you laugh?
I laughed first, but
I feel like, no, I can't even say that because he's goofy. He gonna laugh.
I gotta laugh.
I ain't gonna lie, I probably would have laughed too.
I give him a
I would too, but I would give the sound
I still, I didn't laugh for a long time, but
You will laugh. You will laugh because you still
Yeah.
laughing now.
First of all, you're still laughing now, so we know that's some bullshit.
Right.
because I warned him before. I was like, dog, are you ready for this? Yeah, I got this. I got it. All right. I was like,
You give him a pep talk?
Because if I put you through my training course, I got to make sure you're going to succeed. I can't just have you go out there and get the
Did
one
you
one
say
one music.
your training course?
It's his training course.
I had a training course. Was charging the $9.95.
Shut up.
So,
But it's a fun experience, but you have to handle the situation correctly. And if it's in a relationship, I say, unless the woman wants it, leave it alone because it will ruin your relationship. Trust me.
Mm.
And, yeah. But if she open to it, it's a good motherfucking time.
Lady Antoinette.
So mine's is a little more realistic. I love you dearly, but
This
you
is real
She
life.
you be in a box or a tunnel.
She
Like,
just goes with the shade off the back.
This is real life I'm talking about. This
So,
is experience.
I feel like this. It all depends on the couple. On one hand, you have people that emotionally cannot handle that.
Amen.
They can't handle seeing their, even if they think they can before, once they get there, they cannot handle seeing their partner with someone else. So you have that factor. And then you also have the trust issue. Some people do not trust each other, or your man might be a whole entire whore and you don't know, and he might sleep with the woman behind your back. You never know. So you have to have a couple that is emotionally mature. Okay, so it works for some couples. I'm not in the lifestyle. For those who don't know, there is a thing, especially in the black community. The black community calls it the lifestyle.
The swinger club.
It's like swinger clubs or just kinky stuff in general. I'm not in the lifestyle, but I know a lot of people who are, and that's the thing. You have to, like with CP3, what he did say that was true. There are rules, but what those rules are depends on the couple. So it depends on what you guys are comfortable with, but you have to be real about yourself on what you're comfortable with. I've seen couples who had threesomes that shouldn't have, and it backfires on so many different levels. You got the woman who's sleeping with the woman behind the man's back, and she got a whole relationship with this woman. You got the man having a whole relationship with this woman. Sometimes babies come from it, Sometimes the woman leaves her man for this woman, or the man, it's crazy.
Yeah.
You
So
have
gotta
to.
have rules.
You have to be, but before you even have those rules, you have to be emotionally mature.
True.
You have to know what you can handle, and you have to be real with yourself about what you're going to offer and how you're going to act afterwards. So some people can handle it, some people can't. It just all depends. Once you're real with yourself, if you are able to do it, that a lot of people say they enjoy it, and it does help the relationship. But then at the same time, it can really damage you. So I feel like if there's a couple that is contemplating this, you have to be real with it. And there are too many women out here that's, well, my man wants a threesome, so I'm going to go ahead and give him one. No, a good and well, she is not emotionally mature and can't handle it. Don't put yourself in that situation. Me, I'm stingy. If I like you and we in a relationship, we not going to have a threesome because somebody is going to get knocked off the bed. Oops.
Did you just say knocked off the
Yeah,
bed?
like, oops, she fell off. How you get down there, girl?
How you get
What
cut?
you doing, boo?
That's not stingy, that's violent.
No, I just knock her off a little bit, but I'm stingy. I'm selfish,
When that blood comes
Like,
out.
I feel like that's mine. You know what I mean?
You ain't
I'm
help
gonna
her?
push you to the side because that's mine.
You ain't
Now,
gonna
if
help
I
her back up or
have,
nothing?
you said what?
You ain't gonna help her back up?
She probably
For
gonna
what?
step on her.
What am I helping? You could just sit on the floor and watch. Like, what?
See, that's why you say you gotta, like you said, you gotta have the right partner for it.
Right. And so for me, if I'm having a threesome, you best believe that ain't my dude. He ain't the one. He ain't the one. I'm not against threesomes, but when it comes to relationships, like I feel like if any man wants a relationship with me and he wants a threesome, you better catch me while I don't care. Cause once I get my feelings involved, now you're not about to be with her.
It's always good to get the female perspective.
I want to say, ladies, to touch on something she said. By giving him a threesome, if you don't want to do it, don't do it.
Don't do it.
Because it's going to fuck with
problems.
you, and it's going to 9 times out of 10 blow up the relationship.
Yep.
So, and dudes, as I say, don't bring that shit up unless they bring it up. Because it's going to fuck your relationship up unless they bring it up. Because there's no backing out of that question. There's no way to say.
You can have the conversation.
But most of these motherfuckers don't know how to have a conversation. They
Right.
say some.
That's
some
what I'm
brash
saying.
shit.
You can have a conversation, but don't put the request in until you know how the person feels about it.
Yeah.
And you
I
have
get
to
it.
be honest. That's the key right there. You have to be honest with yourself and understand what you can have.
It's,
And
well,
that's the thing.
it's hard for a lot of people to be honest.
Yeah,
Right.
that's what I was about to say. Most of these
Right.
people
Most
in
people,
relationships
most
aren't
people,
honest.
most people aren't honest. They don't know how to say what they want
Right.
or express it the right way.
Right. And that goes back to what I said about being emotionally mature. Like if you're not there, then you can't. No.
And if you feel like you need a threesome to help your relationship, then you need to get out of the
Well, it's
relationship.
right because a relationship now. Don't get me wrong. You got these poly relationships.
Yeah, I mean
Yeah.
that's
But-
not needing. That's their choice. If you feel like
Right.
you need this to make the relationship okay, this is what he wants. If I give him this, things will get better.
No,
no,
it's not.
no,
It's not.
So
It's
Um,
not. He just gonna be with her later.
But the shit is fun though.
So I got another question. I saw
boy.
this. I saw this. So that was interesting. We ain't had no guests. So I was like, well, this is stuff we can really talk about.
I want to stay on this for a little while.
Of course you did.
I mean, damn, how much episode did you get us?
We don't want to hear your little
I'm
nasty
reminiscing
stories
about
about
my
licking
good old
booties.
days, man. It was a
We
good-
don't want to hear your
Yeah.
nasty stories about licking booties, but not feet,
So-
but not sucking toes.
That
We
was a
don't want
nice
to
little.
hear
That was a nice.
So it said, why are men taught how to treat a woman, but women aren't taught how to treat a man?
I disagree with that. I disagree. I feel
Go
like
for it.
back in the day, men were taught how to court a woman, but not necessarily taught how to treat her in a relationship. And women were taught how to take care of their man in a relationship. Nowadays, none of it is taught. So I disagree with that statement because when it was taught for one, it was also taught for the other to a degree. Men were taught how to get that woman, not how to keep her, but the woman was taught how to keep them.
That's some real shit right there.
That's like our grandparents, you know what I mean? Some of our parents. But nowadays, neither one is taught. Men don't know how to get a woman. They don't know how to court a woman. And women don't know how to keep a man.
Yeah,
that's
pretty much.
that's some real
So-
shit.
One,
Nowadays, yeah, that's out the window
so
altogether.
one of the things is this, and I remember me and Black GOP was hanging out. I always think of Black GOP, God rest his soul. Was hanging out with two of our homegirls when we was back on Pies 95, and we went to a restaurant, and it's platonic and stuff, but we noticed before, because the way I was raised, you get the door.
Right.
Before we can even get the door for them, they had already zoomed.
Mm-hmm.
So
Because
when
they
we,
used to not people not getting a door.
so when we sat down for brunch and stuff, we had that conversation. It was like, what type of niggas do y'all deal with? Because then I thought about how we even addressed it. Because when we say what type of niggas y'all deal with,
Niggas.
it answers itself.
Yeah, that's what.
Because you are dealing with niggas. You're not dealing with men.
Mhm.
Because a man will get the door. My God rest my stepmom's soul. When I was at a certain age, even when we was in New York, she'd be like, all right, she goes to the gas station.
You pumping?
She's like, I don't pump gas when a man's in the car.
There you go.
Get out and pump the gas.
Mhm.
But I respect her for that.
Right.
There's nothing more frustrating as a man if you on a date and you go to reach for the door to open it and your girl is speed racer.
Right. But here's the thing. It's an ongoing cycle.
Yes.
See, the reason why she's speed racing.
Because she dates a lot of people that don't do that for her.
And a lot of dudes don't do it anymore because the women are doing it. So it's an ongoing cycle. So just like what I said about the men courting women and the women keeping a man, when you remove one, it's an ongoing cycle. Whichever one is removed. So now the men aren't courting the women because these women don't know how to keep them. The women aren't doing anything to try to keep the man because he ain't courting her. So it's an ongoing cycle. Once something is removed, that circle is done. And so now, that's just the state we're in. How do we fix it? Hold your ground. That's all I can really say is hold your ground. I personally, I'm struggling with the fact that there's too many men that don't know how to court a woman. Once we in a relationship, you good. But guess what? You ain't gonna get me in a relationship acting like that.
Yeah,
so I'm gonna stand my ground.
Oh Lord, I just got the worst text ever.
What?
Tom Brady said something about he will return.
I mean, he said it was a rumor, and usually it's some basis to those rumors.
Tom Brady says he will return for another season. Boo.
For what?
Anyway, I don't know. Anyway,
I
CP3.
hate it.
I hate that dude. I hope he gets his leg broke too. Your thoughts on this?
This Lady Antoinette had a very profound thought process on it. Excuse me. I definitely can agree with her statement on that.
Whoa!
Yeah,
I know, right?
I know it's logical.
That's how we knew it snowed yesterday.
I think I need another drink.
I can't believe these words actually came out
I
your
agree
mouth.
with Lady Antoinette.
You
Oh my
agree?
God.
That's why I said I had to cough and get it had to come out first. You know, had to cough it up for it to come out. But that's an interesting question. Statement. I feel like nowadays, no, but like Lady Antoinette said back in the day, I feel like women were taught more to cater to a man and, like you say, learn how to keep him. But back in those days, the men, there was no such thing as a good husband back in those days. And one of my favorite comedians, Gerard Carmichael, said, let's be real, your granddad probably hit your grandma. Because being a good husband wasn't a real thing. He wanted certain things when he wanted it. And that was the dynamic back in the day. Now, after all the evolution of domestic violence and people not knowing how to communicate, people being in relationships for different reasons and situationships, it's not as simple as it used to be. Because now sometimes people are in relationships out of convenience and not because of love. So it's all about doing enough to keep them happy so they can, stay in the lifestyle they're living in or still have a side nigga or a side chick or whatever situation they're in. So to me, it all comes down to, do people know who they are and know how to make themselves happy? Because once you can make yourself happy, you don't need someone else. You want to be in a relationship. You have some people that need to be in a relationship because it's something missing in their lives. And that's because most times that they don't want to analyze the things that's wrong with them or the issues that they have. And once you address those issues, then you're ready for a relationship. But you have folks that's getting in and out of relationships that's not ready for them and scarring other people and along with scarring themselves even more, making them basically untouchable because they're so scarred and so defensive and so thinking about the previous relationship because they haven't had time to heal themselves. And we spoke about going to get mental health. That's a very key thing, being able to have someone to talk to and deal with your feelings and emotions and everything, because this generation doesn't understand emotion, in my opinion, because everything is instant, text message, touch screen. You don't really have to talk to anybody to get stuff. You can hit DoorDash and leave my stuff on the porch. You give them a tip through the app. Okay, have a good day. And, leave
don't even know if they did a good job.
Exactly. So I feel like emotion comes with interaction with people and having everyday conversations. Before I got into sales, I was Lady Antoinette worked with me. She saw how I was. I was an introvert. I was a wish a nigga would mentality. And I was ready for any confrontation that was there. But after you know, that's because I shut myself off. But once I got into sales and started to have to talking to different people and dealing with different personalities and not snap because they said something I didn't like, and learn how to process it and take the emotion out of it, then I learned to be able to communicate and, you know, get my words out and not hit those rage points because they said something I didn't like. So it's all about just getting out there and experiencing it and knowing who you are and what you are before you put yourself in another situation for a relationship and ruin, you know, someone else's emotional stability, not just saying their life that is going to go that bad, but every bad relationship you in scars you and that person, even if you want to admit it or not.
Right, but you can, this is the thing, when you have a bad relationship, you should be able to, in a perfect world, you should be able to learn from it, build on it, and improve going forward. Not really allowing that wound to remain open.
But
You said scar. Scar usually means it has healed and you have a mark to remind you. There are people that are walking around with open wounds. That's the problem.
I get that analogy. I feel it.
So to me, I look at it as, okay, you had a bad relationship. I've had bad relationships. I have, really bad. Some that ended in bloodshed. However, you learn from that. And it's funny that we talked about this because I literally talked to him today.
Hold on.
I literally talked to him today.
You got Stockholm syndrome?
He does. But
How's your scar today?
no, I mean, first of all, this was
Ooh,
when
that
I
scar
tell
is
you
sexy on
this
you.
was back in 2004. Okay, when that scar, that wound, I should say, happened. Okay, so that was back in 2004, and he's still like, he's one of those people that he holds on to things that other people did.
Of course.
Now, what I did to him, conveniently, he overlooks that because he knew that that was warranted. Okay?
You don't want
It's
another
fucked
one.
up you stabbed me, but I deserve it.
No, he told me the worst thing I ever did to him was get married to somebody.
Yeah, niggas be like that.
Outside of you scarring him?
And here's the thing. I remember this conversation
if you
years
really
ago.
love a motherfucker,
I said to him, I said, you know I stabbed you, right? And he got real mad. Because I was like, how is that the worst thing that I ever did?
you know, sad
We
to say.
weren't together. I had already stabbed you.
That means he really loved it as you, girl.
And then when I go and when I move on and marry somebody else, now you mad? That's the worst thing?
You know, secret reasons.
And he said, you wouldn't marry me. Right. You're out.
That's what made it worse.
I wouldn't marry you because I had to stab you.
I
You know
shed
what
blood
I
for
mean?
you, girl.
Right.
Secretly, you're just so inappropriate.
He is, but at the same time, you
That's
should
his
have seen
logic.
my face when I was like, what? The worst thing. So, the way you view things is different than everybody else.
That's his
So
logic.
all you can really focus on is you healing from what you have and moving on. But he's one of those people they harbor on
Yeah, most folks don't hear.
the wrong things, clearly. Because I'm like, bruh.
So let's do another a music break. Because
It was me this
He
time.
loved it as you, girl. That shit hurt. It's nothing like when you really love a motherfucker, you know you fucked up and then they go move on. That shit hurt.
Right.
Yeah.
And then apparently it hurt worse than
Yeah, I
those
know you
9
stabbed-
stitches
yeah,
that he
damn,
needed.
9?
damn.
Okay, I might have
All
told you
right,
that.
out of the 2, but who got an assault charge around here?
I
I'm supposed
don't
to
have
get
an
that
assault charge, thank you very much.
All right, let's play the video.
anymore. Got it spun.
Cut the mic! Cut the mic!
I was down, now I'm really trying to go get up.
See, here's the thing.
Turn
Cut your
around,
mic.
nigga,
It's hard to cut.
Wait a second.
what you get when you go fuck with the vision. And why you be calling me don't
Sorry,
vision.
yeah.
He gotta make sure he's is cut.
If you watching, I just gotta get up. I was just
Ah, shit.
pushing this white.
Yeah,
I'm
it
doing
came through.
sit-ups. I was just dirty now. I got my
Like
fit
that.
up.
Yeah.
Too good for these bitches, I
He go
bet
back
they gon'
to
miss
Tampa.
us. And I pack a bag if
Well,
you
the
think that
agent
I'm
said
strong.
when that tweet came out that it was just a rumor, it wasn't official to hear Tom Brady.
Look.
Even though niggas don't know what to get on, you ain't shit, so your niggas gon' get on.
You know what I mean? You can't say he's not a good quarterback.
He's a good
Do you
quarterback.
think he's a Hall of Famer?
I don't think he's the best teammate.
No,
Definitely,
we
he's a
know
dude.
that. We know that.
I don't think he's a good dude.
He's
at
a
all.
piece of shit.
Jordan wasn't the best teammate.
Yeah.
But Jordan got 6 rings.
You're right, but I'm just saying.
That
Jordan
one ring.
easily.
I'm only speaking of what he said about the being a good teammate. But at the end of the day,
If you're not gonna be a good teammate, you gotta produce.
but you can't produce. In football, you can't produce like how you can in basketball and being a bad
He ain't
teammate.
sniffed the
You
NFC
can't.
Championship game since he won that Super Bowl. Let alone the Super Bowl. But he's great, then they get the excuse he didn't have no help.
I was just down, now I'ma get
Like I said, you can't win in football. You cannot win without your team. You can't.
money was low,
But he's had a team. He just hasn't been able to get over the hump and make it happen like Tom Brady.
That's what I'm saying. You have to get along with your team. Tom Brady buys his team Rolex watches.
He's a good teammate.
Oh, you ain't know that?
Oh yeah,
He buys his
treat
line.
They treat the offensive linemen. They protect
He
them.
buys his line the Rolexes, honey.
Shit, some of the bonuses they give some of these dudes, yeah, $100,000, $200,000.
First of all-
cars.
Do you know who his wife is?
Yeah.
Tom might not even have to pay for the Rolexes. Real talk.
Like you said, Tiger Woods, when his wife messed up his car, his new car was sponsored by Buick. He ain't have to buy a new car. Buick gave him a new car.
All this money these people got, and they get so many things for free. And people be looking at me crazy
So, this is like lighting, so,
when I be trying to get stuff.
how long y'all This show is doing most people what's
State of Virginia allowed me to have it
He's already good.
So when he did it again, I told him before he did it again, I said, guess what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna go ahead and I'm not gonna call them, I'm gonna cut you. Okay? So guess what happened? He did it again, so I can cut you.
the camera's showing still, it's still the music playing. So, I have to feed up the line. I want you to focus on what I'm
And plus, it's in 2004.
I am the best, fuck all the rest, out the back, but bitch, I'm blessed. My fucking nigga in the back of your legs, he said my pussy the best. He let me burn up a check, busting the hell of my neck. Princess got diamonds up flex, clever bitches, savage shit. Ain't no mix with average bitch, word on shit, that's fucking stuff. Got a big family, threw me off, got a bitch on soul. Fall through, birthday bitch. He wanna take the flash, east, first
Retirement village in front of Waldorf. My sister told Caitlin to kiss her ass. Caitlin told my sister to kiss her ass and called her out her name. My sister said, I'm done with all of y'all, left them and went back home. Now they're at my mom's place right now. She don't know what to do. She called my niece Kiana and she said she was trying to see what she can do. And now I gotta try to know what I mean. Caitlin just turned 16, 17.
And she's smelling herself. And I know you don't want to hear this, but she's crazy.
Better play your position. I'm
That's
on my
usually what it
mission.
is.
Your way we
Or
have
some
to
little
build
boy
it.
like her.
Some
little boy like her.
It could be both, though.
I know the context of the argument. I haven't even called her.
It don't matter. She's smelling herself. That's what happens when little girls around that age, when they start acting like that. It's because their confidence is built up. They think they're a grown woman. They don't care. Like my son, when he start wilding out,
it ain't no off switch. It's only real
Y'all know I'm crazy. My son know I'm crazy, and he's still trying.
My sister used to wild out in her teenage stuff like she don't know what she fucking with. She act my sister actually with my dad one time. My dad knocked my sister out. Cause she tried to go at my dad. My dad was 6'5", 350 pounds.
Let me tell you something. And on top of that, if your sister used to wild out, your niece is paying her back. That's karma. That's what happens. Because my son, the fact that he acted too much like me, it reminds me every day. My son was 2 and he cut another kid. And I had to tell my ex-husband, I said, I need you to get your son. Because I'm a discipliner. He got that genetically from me. I was like, get your son. You're going to tell me these babies made me mad. That's why he did it. Yeah, that's what he was saying.
Yo.
Hola.
So, CP3, just say no to violence. Are you scared when you sit next to Lady Antoinette sometimes?
Sometimes I do, wonder, might be some concealed weapons around here I don't know about.
I'll let you know that I have weapons.
Yeah, to her credit, she does let you know that.
That's the ones that we know of.
No, let me say something. I'm never going to do something to somebody that I didn't already let them know about beforehand.
Right.
If I tell you, oh, if you do X, Y, Z, this is what I'm going to do.
But I don't be doing
you can't be
anyway.
surprised if you do X, Y, Z.
I don't be doing nothing anyway.
So that means you don't have nothing to worry about.
But still, you might get the urge to stab a nigga
No,
just because.
no, I don't do that. That's what I'm saying.
Right, just checking.
Let's talk about Kimora Lee Simmons. Her ex-husband was married and was cyberly posting as wife to convince Kimora Lee that wasn't him, if that makes any sense.
Say what now?
What?
He was basically catfishing.
He was playing a super shaggy. It wasn't me.
So wait, what? He
was getting married.
He was basically catfishing Kimora Lee.
Wow.
Because he was already married to somebody else.
Oh shit, let me slide in her DM.
But he was trying to convince her that wasn't. What did you just say?
So let me slide in her DM. I ain't
we
married.
gonna ignore what he said.
Just saying, shit. Give me a shot.
You only seeing dollar signs.
Huh?
If you can you can hear.
Sell cars with a Rolex on.
So basically, Tim testified under oath on Tuesday he pretended for years to be his then wife, Shiny Harris's Judy Chan, and sent fake emails to his future wife, Kimora Lee, when they began their relationship. Damn.
He's weird. But that's almost as bad as oh boy, who was lying about being a member of the Belafonte family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So basically, he created a fake email account and posed as his ex-wife to convince Simmons that he wasn't a whole married man while he was trying to shoot his shot.
So in the course of their relationship, he went ahead and got a divorce, right? And then married her.
Yes.
Okay. That's terrible.
Oh, no.
Oh, so he married both?
He married Simmons in 2014, even admitted to faking divorce documents in order to marry her while he was still married to Chan.
That means their marriage was null and void.
And I'm fucking single. See, you some bullshit.
I'm single too.
That's some wild shit.
Okay. I don't even have pretend married people trying to holler, okay? So I understand.
So Congress finally did something right after 80-something years. Congress approves Emmett Till bill, saying that lynching is a hate crime after decades of trying.
And during COVID, you remember what they did to the Asian community?
Yeah.
That was quick. Really quick.
Real quick. Asian hate crime. Asian hate. This, for one...
It's us, I'm sorry, it's African Americans, that's the term they choose to use, and Native Americans that are last on the books, always.
It's crazy because, like, didn't the lady who got Emmett Till killed admit on her deathbed or something like that?
She admitted it. She wasn't on her deathbed when she admitted it.
Oh, okay.
She's just old.
Her should have still went to jail.
You're right. They
A
said
boy-
Bill Cosby to jail
A boy lost his life. A 14-year-old boy lost his life
because of you.
because of you.
Because you lied.
That's kind of the topics I wanted to touch on about, the false rape allegations.
Oh, because I said
And-
Bill Cosby.
Well, no, because Chris Brown just had a false rape allegation.
He had a couple, but we
and-
talked about the one.
Yeah, I said-
But he posted the text message from the lady afterwards. It was like, I was the best sex you ever had, and all this other stuff. And really, I think they made
It
it.
doesn't sound like a
it
rape
doesn't sound like rape.
victim.
That's
But should the accused be charged with the crime?
Yes, that is actually a crime. So it's not should they be charged. It's why aren't they being charged?
True.
Because I'm gonna be real with you. If I go and file charges or look at Jussie Smollett, why is Jussie? This is such a big case because they feel he lied in court documents. And they want to make an example out of him. Nobody was physically hurt in this situation. Nobody's pockets were hit other than the quote unquote government, which, let's be real, they spend money on frivolous things all the time.
I mean, they're talking about him serving 150 days for a case that's over 3 years old. Like,
But
that's a waste.
you got people making false claims on the regular that literally hurts people.
Yeah.
We've heard this story a million times. Football player in college, top of the game, got a scholarship. NFL is in his sights. Some 16-year-old girl says, "Oh, he raped me." Everything gets snatched from him. No more scholarship, no more college, no more NFL. He goes to jail. Now is considered a sex offender just to find out she lied later on.
Sure indeed.
That happens too often. And nothing happens to the women who are lying. And the problem is that when it comes to that culture, you're hurting the real victims, because when we find out that you're lying and nothing happens to you, now when these other victims over here come forward,
We think they're lying too.
right, so you're hurting the culture. They're just as responsible for this particular culture as the rapists are, because you're making it so that we don't even believe these people. So I think they should get charged. People who file false claims like that. But that particular girl, for Chris Brown, she didn't file a police report.
She filed a civil case.
She filed a civil case, which in turn, I feel like Chris should sue her.
You probably will.
I feel like he should sue her. Look at Cardi B. She just won her case. That chick owes her $4 million.
Yeah. And
Chris should sue that girl.
and the lady's still screaming that she's innocent.
Even her husband got on the stand against her.
You need to get out, because now he on the hook for that $4 million too, because they married. You better roll.
You better get a divorce.
Fuck that.
In crazier news,
Oh shit.
this only can happen in the country.
In the U.S.?
2 men killed by a camel that escaped from a Tennessee petting zoo.
I don't want to laugh.
Yeah, you do, because you're laughing now.
I don't want to. That's what I'm saying.
Certain things.
2 men were killed by a rampaging camel that escaped from a petting zoo in Tennessee, according to local authorities.
But real talk, they did. I've heard this before, that camels can be very dangerous. We look at a camel, he chilling, they spitting, they stinky, but we don't think they dangerous. They can be.
I don't get that close to him, so.
Well, what do you do when you walking down the street? Because first of all, it escaped. So this is not their natural environment. If you in the desert somewhere and you see a camel, you're not going to get close to it. But what you do when you come outside and you going to go check your mail and the camel come running down the street?
You know what you do like back in the old days. You get around that car, you keep going around in the circle so that motherfucker don't catch you. Stop playing. Stop playing, baby D. Stop
But
playing.
at what point, I feel like you should run and maybe run in a zigzag or something, like somebody shooting at you.
You're going to have some shock, like, okay,
I'ma
it's a
just-
camel in my
So,
hood.
so I looked at the picture, and I'm just going to assume the other gentleman is white, because
Yes, we know.
the guy is white.
I don't have I'm not trying to, I'm not racist, guys. I'm just saying it's something about the black people and our culture.
If I see a camel coming,
we gone, we out.
I grew up in the hood. If I see a pit bull coming down the street on a leash, I'm not walking that way.
You know, you seen a poodle, not the toy poodle. But
no, I seen a real poodle. No, I ain't fucking one of those the big joints. Nah.
Thank you. Let me tell you something. 101 Dalmatians. We see the Dalmatians. The Dalmatians are vicious. If I remember, there was a big Dalmatian in my neighborhood. That joint used to always get out. We was gone.
Yeah. I mean,
I'm not playing. No.
I am not trying to calm a camel down. I mean, I'm just being honest with you.
No.
If I'm walking down the street and I see, look, real talk.
If I see a camel, I'm running.
There are deer on Richmond Highway.
Oh no, I don't mess with
There are deer on Richmond Highway. When I lived in Southeast, off of when I came from Southern Avenue, there were deer.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen deer with antlers.
Yep.
I ain't about that life. I seen what deer do to cars when they run into them.
Yep.
You know.
And we also saw one of the first viral videos back in the day when YouTube kind of just started up. Y'all remember that video of the deer attacking that white man who was he tore him up. He was on his hind legs going like he tore that man up. We not messing with that.
He's so Muhammad Ali for this. I gotta fuck this nigga up.
So I'm not.
You laughing too hard.
I see a runaway camel. I'm not the guy to call to try to capture it.
No, I'm not.
I ain't about that life.
I will call animal control.
There would be some shock because you come out.
My idea captured it.
Yeah, but shocked versus let me go intervene and help this animal.
Look, my idea captain would be I'd have to go home, load my weapon, click. Man,
you gotta go pop the trunk.
Yeah. Yep. Somebody gonna get somebody cook the camel
burgers, y'all. We having camel burgers, baby.
If the camel
what that hump taste
survives and I have done anything to intervene, it is because I called animal control.
Yeah, I'm not.
That is it.
We having camel hump soup tonight.
That's what I'm saying. You know what? If the camel survives and I have done something to intervene, it's because I called animal control. I'm not doing either. The camel gotta go.
We find the grill up. Fuck that.
Not doing none of that.
You about to have some camel burgers.
That's fine.
So this is a very sad case. In Oregon, a woman gave birth to a baby on the sidewalk, and in true Brenda's Got a Baby fashion, left the baby on the sidewalk.
That happens. They don't report it, but it happens. People wrap babies up, put them in the trash can. People wrap babies up, leave them at the firehouse. They do all kinds of stuff. At the church. It's sad. It is sad. That's the whole reason why Tupac did Brenda's Got a Baby. Because
it was a real life story.
It was a story. It's real. And that was how long ago?
Yeah,
90s.
92, 93, 91, something like that.
Exactly. That's 30 years ago. That's crazy. I just made myself feel real old.
I thought you was only 25.
That's why I made myself feel old.
So the mother actually wasn't cooperative, and it seems like I was reading that the mother may be suffering from a little bit of mental issues.
Probably.
But it's sad that something like that happens.
Yeah.
Especially to a child, because children are innocent.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the same thing with that situation. Is like the respect for life. I don't feel like folks have their respect for life anymore.
But see, in that situation, if she has a mental illness,
mental illness,
yeah,
true.
that's different.
I mean, because especially not depending on how old she is, her body could be in shock, especially having it on her own.
Not even that. Like she could have already had an existing.
Stuff. I mean, but there's so many X factors into it. So
yeah.
I mean, it's a sad situation in this world right now.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, excuse me. I've been, I watch Discovery ID, so it's a lot of true stories that be on.
Here we go.
I'm just saying some of the stuff that I see that's actual true stories. The way people discard people after they've killed them for whatever dumb reasons.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just, I just want to ask, when do we, as a society, get to that where someone's life is worth taken away because it'll make your life unpleasant because they'll expose some truth that you did or something that'll change your lifestyle to make you uncomfortable. When did it become cool, acceptable for someone to even have that thought process? When did we stop devaluing life and just decide to toss somebody's life away?
Yeah, unfortunately, it's a result of the way our society kind of has been moving through the course of time. You know, it's not just not valuing life.
It didn't just start. It's been going on.
Result of.
It's been going on, but it's like it's amplified. Like I wanted to talk about this.
Well, see, the main thing that's amplified is that we know about it because we have more access. So, real talk, when it comes to police brutality or racism and things like that, right now, this is not the worst it's ever been. It's not.
Well, yeah.
But this is the worst as far as the information that has been provided to us.
Because you see it more.
But see, think about when people didn't have video cameras. Think about it like this. These police officers that are committing these crimes, because it's a crime.
Yeah.
But these police officers who are committing a crime, or anybody for that matter, but every average person, people have video cameras on their phones now, right?
Yeah, so
and they're still doing it. Imagine back when your chances of getting caught were lessened. Where you don't think, we got cameras everywhere, so you can get caught easier now than you could back in the day. So it was worse. These are people who know they could possibly get caught because of our technology, and they're still doing it. So what about back in the day when it was easier to get away with?
I understand all of that. I'm speaking about present time.
Give me 1 second, CP3, because I'm about to. The conversation we just had is going to be available about a week or two on Spinwax Radio. So I'm about to end that part of the show, but we'll still, continue what we normally talk about. So, because normally I usually record when we have a guest, but I thought the topics that we were gonna have were gonna be very interesting and stuff. We'll play, play a little music, talk a little stuff, and get everybody's opinion. I know CP3 wanted to talk about some killings and stuff that was going on and stuff.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to. With the couple of killings the last 2 weeks, I don't watch the news or not, but I'm on social media reading different threads about these. It was a situation last week, I believe. A young man was walking with his 5-year-old child and a baby in a car seat, and was targeted, killed. And then something happened this week where a lady was in the car with her kids, and a shooting went down, and she got killed, hit by a stray bullet. And I understand, like the lady Anthony was talking about, the police brutality and the racism. Everyone wants to rally and protest that, but black community, we gotta fucking do better.
True.
Because as much as you want to rally and talk about Black Lives Matter when someone gets killed by police, why don't Black Lives Matter when it's somebody in your hood getting killed by somebody in your hood? It shouldn't take it for it to be a white person or a police officer for you to get fucking outraged about it. You should be outraged about it when it's anybody that's matching that person's color and doing it to them. Because it's bullshit. So before y'all want to rally and get in the police face and disrespect them, disrespect that motherfucker that's doing that shit in your hood. Don't be on TV and on social media talking about how much you hate the police and how they bringing down the black community and white man this, white man that. Fuck that. We got some responsibility in that shit too. As much as y'all want to blame somebody else for the failures and the other shit, yeah, it plays a key part. But if you know the rules to the fucking game and you know the game is fucking slanted, get with the slant, beat the fucking game, and then take over the game. Don't just whine about it and bitch and complain. Please, step the fuck up. Stop this senseless fucking violence and bullshit. If you want to get behind something, get about life for everybody, no matter how they die, by whose hands. This shit is ridiculous, man. It's pissing me off. I'm glad I don't have any kids that I have to worry about coming up in this society. I'm worried for my nieces and nephews, but this shit is fucked up, man. Yeah. It's crazy.
What you gotta think about is when people die senselessly, and it's really to no point. And when you walking down the street with your kids, you don't that man ain't thinking about nothing but his family, and for him to do that and to traumatize the kids.
Yep.
Kids also. There was another thing. Young man wasn't here, but he was on his way home on FaceTime with with his mother, and he was killed.
Yep.
On
While
FaceTime.
he was on FaceTime.
His mother.
That's a mother's worst nightmare. That's ridiculous.
Yeah. So black people need to really come together and police themselves and hold themselves accountable. I always feel, to me, and I've said this time, the black on black crime and the police agenda is two separate things for me. And the reason why I feel that way is because we had people marching in the 60s for peaceful protests. The police have been putting dogs and beating the shit out of black people then. So it ain't nothing new now. It's just more televised.
Right.
But at the same time, black people, their hoods are out of control. You have to decide whether is it snitching when you know a 5-year-old child has been killed, or is it protecting your neighborhood?
Doing the right thing.
It's those are the questions that you got to answer. It's I remember when Whack 100 was having that conversation with Snitch Knot, and he was like, you ain't really about that because you a civilian.
Right.
And it made so much more sense to me because my brother has been in the game for a long time. He was in the streets. I'm a civilian. I'm proud of hell to be a civilian. I held the family down when he got locked up. I wasn't in the streets hustling. I ain't never attempted to hustle. I ain't never cut up soap. I ain't never cut up no crack ball, and I'm proud of that. The last time I was fingerprinted, I was 5 or 6 years old in New York. And I'm proud of that. And there's nothing wrong with that. Working hard and grinding and getting your shit together ain't a bad thing.
Right.
There are other options. There are a lot of people that don't know how to play the game. There's a lot of people that don't know how to. They're stuck on Groundhog Day. They're stuck on I just want to be a hood nigga, and there's so much more to life than just being a hood nigga.
Right.
Said that several times.
When you do it the right way, you can fall, get back up, and still make something out of yourself.
But here's my thing. Even non-civilians, okay? Non-civilians. It's not right for a 5-year-old to go down.
True.
So if you're a non-civilian, what you doing about that? What are you doing about that? Even people who are in the game, what are you doing about that? A 5-year-old. That bullet, if somebody shoots a gun, you have a bullet, you have an intended person, right?
Yes.
Was that 5-year-old intended?
No.
So if the 5-year-old was not intended and somebody got hit, what are you doing about that? That's still stupid. Because last I checked, there is one major thing that's in the game. It's kind of like an eye for an eye type of thing. So what do you think that the family of that 5-year-old should do to you?
Interesting. Yeah.
Because real talk, in the game, you take one of mine out, I gotta take one of yours out, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so then what? How is a civilian supposed to get back at you? You don't want them snitching. Okay. So you rather them call the police and get you locked up, or do you want them to just go ahead and end your life like you did that 5-year-old? Which one is it? It's still stupid.
Yeah.
It's still stupid. You still cause somebody's life to be taken. And especially when it's an innocent person, come on now. That's not right. Because I'm gonna be real with you. If it's one of mine, I'm going to need you to be gone. In whatever way you need to be gone. Like, however you need to go, you need to go. Because you took one of mine. So, the no snitching, okay, if people don't snitch, then the only other result is what?
Violence.
Exactly. So either you get locked up or you lose your life. One of the two. Something has to happen.
Well, the thing about
That's what I'm saying.
The whole thing about the no snitching thing is, when I grew up, snitching was like, if you got caught doing a crime and your man didn't get caught,
right? That's no snitching.
Then you don't snitch. You take your time like a man.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, my brother didn't get locked up because he was clumsy. He got locked up because other people snitched on him.
Right.
And then when they asked my brother, would he snitch on other people, he said his reply was the most realest shit up. He said, why would I put another man's family going through what I go through?
Right.
And more so, people, I'm not wearing a wire or nothing like that because people know my family.
Right.
So I'm not going to put them in danger. I did the crime, and I am perfectly willing to do the time.
Right.
He didn't put no. So that's, and I'm mindful of it because he took his time like a man.
Right. Because he's holding himself accountable.
Yes, and that's what I mean when I say no snitching.
But what I don't like is, like, if you shoot a 5-year-old, right?
Yeah.
There are people out here that will try to intimidate bystanders who saw it.
Yeah.
To not snitch.
Well, they should be correcting it.
Here's my problem. What's going to happen to you? As a parent, if you take one of mine, something has to happen. It's going to happen. Do you want to be locked up or do you want me to take your life? Which one is it? For your mom to go through what I'm going through.
Yeah.
One of the two. So I feel like this no snitching stuff, okay, you don't want to get the law involved. But do you want me to handle it? Because I'm going to be real with you. You take a mother's child. If she doesn't get the law involved and she get at you, she may put you in a situation where you wish you were dead.
Yeah.
Because there's so many mothers out here, you don't understand what they would do for this. So you might just want the law to be involved. Because y'all know I'm crazy. Y'all know I'm crazy. And there's a bunch of mothers like me. You take one of mine, the things that are going to go through my head, either I do that or I'm going to call the police.
Bunch of uncles too.
There you go. Because that child has a family. So this no snitching thing is stupid. It's real stupid to me. Because it's like, what are the other options then? You don't want me to call the law. You know, that's what they said. Don't get the law involved. Okay, cool. So we gonna handle this the street way, huh? Is that what you want? You took my 5-year-old child? What you want me to do? Like, what do you expect a mother or a father or an uncle or a cousin, grandmother, what do you expect them to do?
Because people don't understand the consequences of action.
Oh, and that's my thing.
So.
Because if I get that mad because you took my kid, it's going to be some consequences.
So I'll tell you a story. And it's not as extreme as someone shot one of my siblings or anything like that. Mm-hmm. My little sister was playing basketball at the rec center. And her basketball coach took a basketball and threw it at her. And was like, she told my mother. My mother came through. He cussed my mom. He hung the phone up on my mother. Mm-hmm. So my mother called me. I came, and I went to the rec center like the next day. And I told him, I said, you a man like I'm a man. He said, correct. And I said, well, we both know what it's like to be hit with a basketball. And he said, yeah. And I said, so you threw a basketball at my sister? And he said, well, she was being bad and I wanted to get her attention. And I said, well, I'm an equal opportunist.
Yes.
And he said, what does that mean? I said, you have kids? He said, yes. I said, well, line them up.
Or how about you get everybody in her life to line up and throw a basketball at you?
So when I told him that, his face dropped.
Yeah, you don't.
But then he understood my point, because I was like, you wouldn't want me to throw a basketball at your kid, so what makes you think you can throw a basketball at my sister? And I told him, I said, the only reason I ain't pounding you in front of these people because you didn't hit her. Keep in mind, if you'd have hit her with the basketball, I wouldn't even talk to you. I'd have just came in and beat you up in front of your students and left.
People are so disrespectful. That's
But
the
it's consequences of that. But people don't understand. So like, when you have to pay these consequences, it's different.
Mhm.
Say I don't shoot you. Say you shot my 5-year-old son. And I find out you got a family. So now I hunt your family down.
Thank
So
you.
now I put you in the same predicament that you
Thank
just put me
you.
in.
Thank you.
People don't understand that
Consequences.
because it's
Consequences to
pain.
your actions, right?
You know.
I couldn't do the kid, but the parent, the one that caused it, yeah. They
Right,
would
but
have to suffer,
but
I
what
wouldn't.
he's doing is making a statement.
Yeah, I'm just saying, but I wouldn't inflict it on because that's just.
I mean,
but there are some
child.
people who would
Yeah, they
do
would.
that.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
I'm not saying
You take
CP3.
my kid, I'm gonna take yours. That's how people think.
I mean, CP3. I wanted to prove a point. I wasn't gonna throw. I mean, if it, I just hit him in the face with a basketball. I wasn't going. But I wanted him to know how I felt
But that
and
goes
why
along with
and
the
why
eye for an eye.
and why I was angry. And I was like, look, don't put my sister in a situation that you want to put your kids in that same
And
situation.
then when your mother talked to him about it, he hangs up on her.
Yeah, he ain't know
Bruh, what?
he ain't know she had grown sons. That's
It
what
don't
that was.
matter, because I'm gonna be real with you. I'm a mother. If somebody had done that to my kid, and I tried to talk to them, and they hung up, oh, this what we doing?
Yeah.
I'm the type of person that, you know, like when kids bad in their neighborhood back in the day, they'd be like, I'm gonna beat you, and I'm gonna tell your mama I beat you.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do something to you, and I'm gonna tell the police I did it.
So
And why?
the real thing is after that situation, he tried to shake my hand,
Nah, bro.
and I wouldn't shake his hand.
Nah, because you disrespected.
And my mom was like, well, you got your point. Why didn't you shake his hand? And I was like, because he didn't. I said, and I told my mother, and I said, he needed to know I wasn't there to be his friend, his
No.
buddy, or his pal. The
You
fact
were
that
there
he,
to check him.
I was like, the fact that he ain't bleeding is the fact that he should be happy, not the fact that I said
Nah,
shaking
we're not
his
gonna
hand
shake
was.
on it.
I
Nah.
said shaking his hand was the last thing that I was going to do that day.
No.
And then my mom thought about it, and she was like, yeah. I said, well, what do you think was gonna happen when you called me? I was like, he's lucky I ain't just walk over and hit him. And I was like, but these are the reactions.
And real talk, I probably would have hit him.
I mean, I had a maintenance man cuss at my mom. Or I think cuss at my sister. I just know she pointed him out by mistake to us one day. And me and my friends caught him in the park, and I was like, hey, you know Cheryl Bell? He was like, yeah. I was like, that's my mother. And his face dropped, and I was like, so you cussed at my mother? And he was like, what? I said, you cussed at my mother?
Consequences to your actions, bro.
I said, dog, you know I would fuck you up in here. And he was just like, wait a minute. I said, man, I'm going to give you 2 days. I'll be back down here on Friday. If you don't apologize to my mother by Friday, we just going to beat the shit out of you. Let me tell you that now.
Right. And see, you gotta look at it like this. Like CP3 to what he's saying as far as like what's going on in today and blah, blah, blah. At the end of the day, our society has changed. Look at these kids and how they act in school. When we were younger, we wouldn't dare.
No.
When our parents were younger, they wouldn't dare. When our grandparents were younger, they wouldn't dare. Why? Because we knew there were consequences to our actions. These kids nowadays, a lot of them don't have consequences to any of their actions.
No.
Man, parents, they
The
have
worst
big
thing in the
kids.
world they did was introduce these little kids to CPS and telling them, oh, you got these numbers. I will admit there are some cases where the kids might need it, right?
Yeah.
But a lot of the kids, they like, oh, you can't beat me
Yeah.
because I'm going to call CPS. Do y'all ever remember thinking about CPS when your parents beat you?
No.
Do y'all ever? Because we didn't know nothing about no CPS.
You know, my mom, I had that type of mom. She'd be like, I'll call him now. We going to go afterwards.
But back in the day, we knew if you did something at school, when you got home, because the teachers, they slick. You be eating lunch or you be at recess playing. No. They going to call your mama. Okay? Or they going to call your mama as soon as you walk out the door to go home. By the time you get home, your mama already know. And my mama was the type that will call me. Hey, you home? Okay. How was your day at school? She already knew. Teacher done already talked to her.
So that's that setup question. Whenever a parent asks you how's your day at school, it's because they already know how your day went. You already know. I know this because I know that because that's the same shit I would do to a kid. I'd be like, how was your day? I just want to see how bad you gonna lie to me before I whoop your ass. Like, what do? They ask you that shit, you like, you said you might as well just come clean. My day was fucked up.
Let me tell you, because now with this new technology, oh please, the principal, I talked to her. No, the guidance counselor called me one day.
Damn.
About my son. Right. It's always something with him.
Leave him alone, man.
And
He's
so,
a kid.
Hung up with her. I text him. Hey, how's school going? Oh, it's good. Oh, okay. Hey, did your bus get there? You on the way home? Oh, okay. See, when your mama work from home, I'm going to put my class on hold, because y'all know I've been training people. Put my class on hold. Hold on a second, y'all. Oh, I sit them on a break. I'm like, oh, you take a 15-minute break real quick. Hey, honey, how was school?
That voice right there knows you in trouble.
No, because I always had the same voice. See, come on now. I'm going to have the same voice. Oh, for real? Oh, okay. Well, I talked to Miss So-and-so today.
Oh, shit.
Oh, what's she called for? Oh, it's funny you ask. Because your grade went from this to this.
Damn.
Mm-hmm.
CBD just shaking his head.
Yeah, that's what you can do, man.
Mm-hmm.
You got set up for failure.
Because, see, let me tell you something. Even though we in this new age and a lot of kids nowadays don't have consequences to their action, mine do. People tell me all the time, oh, your kids are so well mannered. You're right. Because they mama crazy. They already know I'm not going to tolerate any less. The way you act in my house, when you go out into this world, you better be 10 times better than that. Because
Right.
you representing me.
Well, I'm about to play some music because
Why he look
there's so much violence going on.
triggered? I didn't say nothing about violence. I said they know better.
Choking them out is the same.
I didn't say anything about choking no child out. Look at you. Me and my sister were talking about that today too. About these kids and their
You know what?
consequences.
I need a bathroom break. I need to play a song.
I triggered both of y'all.
I was a good child. I
The
was.
whole time?
No, I just didn't get
Really?
I'm one step away. Just try to see.
When I said I was a good child, I mean I didn't get caught with a lot of shit.
Okay.
I'm one step away.
I did bad shit, I just didn't get caught.
I got caught on the street.
I'm one step away. O-C-A. I'm one step away. I'm one step away. I'm one step away.
Oh wait.
So while I'm in
Oh wait,
associate.
something, right?
O-C-A, I'm one step away. Molly coming different colors, get a bigger tank. My money stacking different colors in the rubber bands. Got the connection with the plugs, baby, I'm the man. Just trying to tell them
Alright.
to 100 grand. Open my shop and run the clock like I'm down to dad. Just trying to tell them how
You ain't say Prince George's
From
County.
Mexico to California, shit no way. And what you say over the phone, get a nigga jammed. Never trust none of these niggas, even watch a
teaching
man.
people
Try to
about
finesse
different
me, even
careers
though I
and
always
different
had a
awareness,
plan. Since I know I
flight
gotta be the one to be
attendants,
fair.
engineers,
I took the
whatever they
never
want
be
to
the
do.
one to take step. Cars ain't ready, my credit
People
ain't
who are
honey.
subject matter
The house
experts
paid
about
for with some more show money.
Let me know when y'all hit up and running in PG County, and let me know how you can help with that. My career is HR, recruiting, training, all of that. So if you need some help, let me know. However I can jump in there.
And right now we're looking at.
So on the left.
I said right now.
I hit that pussy better with my shoes on. Girl, really kinda
I
thick,
see.
that still ain't true. To be
You
honest,
are
pussy
48
looking like a sack you lose. Appreciate a nigga, honestly, but telling the truth. Who break gas on the straight,
Thank you.
ain't midnight blue. Little thick, pretty bitch, she a CNA.
I'm about to wrap this up.
Through the TSA. And
then
she like, hey,
I'll
what's
talk
your
with
name?
you
I just call her babe. When I take
afterwards
girls out,
and
baby,
go
show her
promote
OCA. Can't tell the shell, tell the nigga,
Yeah, I definitely,
fuck a safe, a nigga really try to break the bank. Never been the one that give a fuck about what a
Yeah,
nigga
yeah,
think.
we partnering up with everybody.
But even if you're not in PG County, I guess
We
I
are.
can
We
help.
just. So what's going on right now? Like we just literally launched. We got our 503 in November, and so we put out a message to like the Chamber of Commerce, like each county and stuff like that. Yeah. So we heard from employed PGs.
All right.
So we've been talking with them, but we don't
That's
have
good,
nothing signed yet. So we only have
They work with unemployment. They make everybody who does unemployment to sign up with them. So that's real good.
So right now we're trying to really focus on getting to schools like all over the place, because we interview a lot of career counselors, and a lot of them are telling us like students don't know what to do. So a bunch of them want to go to college, but they don't have the grades, and a bunch of them just want to get the hell out of school, and they just like they want to be done with it. But that ain't the answer. That still ain't taking
You
it.
need some training.
Yeah. So what we do is put them together with who they want to do and give a sense of what kind of salary they should be looking for, what kind of tangibles, degrees, certifications, what they actually need to function at that person's level and be successful. And then we point them in the right direction with, hey, you need to go to this school, or this employer recognizes this school or this certification, and we put them together with those.
Perfect. That's right up my alley.
Yep.
Because I used to recruit for Capitol Police, and when I was recruiting for them, I would set up, you know, like workshops and presentations. So a lot of these, like the employment offices, so they have them in, first of all, Charles County, St. Mary's County. They are really good. They'll work with you. Like if you want to come in and do anything with them, they're really good. And in that area, they actually have like one person. They got one office that for one person to talk to, and then they have the different offices and they just schedule it for all. So it's really good. The one for PG, I thought her name was Miss Davis, the one in PG County, the one I used to always talk to. I'm not with Capitol Police anymore, but I still, you know, have had those connections. So definitely, that's a good thing.
Yeah, check out our website. We got resources. We're trying to find a way to, a lot of counties are having problems with like teacher salaries, volunteer firefighters, police officers, and things of that nature. So there's a way to subsidize their salary.
Right. Because before January 6th, when I was in Capitol Police, we would get because, you know, Capitol Police is federal, so they paid a lot more.
I used to work for them.
For real?
Yeah.
You was an officer?
2013, I work in countermeasures.
Okay. I was in background investigation. Because that's what we did in recruiting out of. What we're talking about.
Oh, sorry.
You're fine.
The internet was a spy.
Hey now. That's false accusations.
I mean, your department sounded like a spy.
I mean, we did fingerprints and stuff. And
Is that a trigger word for you?
looked into people's backgrounds.
My background is clean as of right now. I have my sales license, and they did a background check, and I'm good.
I'm gonna be real with you. In the field that I've been in, I've done so many background checks on so many different levels. High up levels, like going into everything, and little simple things like there's a company, LexisNexis, that you know, you can get a lot of stuff from them. So you can sign in and check your information on it too.
I'm good. I've been clean.
No. So sometimes people's information gets mixed up. So sometimes it is good to stay on top of that.
I got a couple of, monitoring things with my social security number if anything pops up.
So it's not just monitoring. So like LexisNexis, a lot of companies go through that. Let's say an address is a little off on there, and you go through there. I had an issue one time. I had to get a whole report because a bank account that I had used LexisNexis, which is the stupidest thing ever. This was years ago though. And LexisNexis had me and my mother's information mixed up. They had an address that she had on hers that I never lived at. So because of that, I couldn't verify my account. Because you know how sometimes they'll ask these questions like, they give you a multiple choice. You're supposed to pick one, right? Well, and oh, you know what? Another thing was one of the financial organizations that she financed a car through, but I never financed through them. So they were asking, did you finance a car through these companies? And I'm like, no. And that was incorrect because they were pulling my information from a company that had my information wrong. So it's good to always check up on yourself.
So CPT, what you got popping going on? tomorrow?
Oh boy, we have a huge show tomorrow. It's our 6-year anniversary for
All
Sports
right.
on the Hill podcast.
That's a big accomplishment, though, for
And
real.
season 7 right around the corner.
Mhm.
I could say we had a big guest this year. We had Sean Taylor's brother on it during his number raising retirement ceremony at the stadium. Still working on, well, I guess it'll be for season 7. I got a big guest in store for season 7. Looking to branch out, do some other things. Already got the new intro set up. Robbie's doing big things on Twitch with his new channel. He's I don't know all the terminology, but he's doing a good job whatever he's doing over there. And you know, we're gonna be celebrating the 6 years of quality content. You know, we haven't hit our stride the way I want to be yet, but you know, we always aspiring for bigger and better things. So you know, we're gonna do some more bigger, innovative things that people are going to copy and not give us credit for. But yeah, after we celebrate season 6, we're going to talk about the Capitals and their the Canadian road trip. They went 2-0-1, still in 4th place, still in the 8th spot in the Eastern Conference. They got a pretty secure hold on that. They have like a 13-point lead on the next team closest to knocking them out. They need to get solidified in the goalie situation. Vitek Vanacek, who was my favorite to take over. He's been playing very well, so they're getting ready for the playoff run. They got about another month and 2 weeks in the regular season, so this is the time to get fine-tuned and get things going. And we'll talk a little bit of football. You know, I talked about the Carson Wentz trade. We'll talk about some of the other transactions in the NFL. Some of the trades. We had Amari Cooper getting traded to the Browns yesterday. And after that, Jarvis Landry requested the permission to seek a trade to get out of Cleveland after they brought in Cooper. So we'll go over some of that stuff, and we'll also talk about baseball season should be starting soon. I believe the new CBA should be getting hopefully ratified tomorrow. And they said hopefully within 2 weeks they should have, I'm not sure if it's going to go in the full swing of games or they're going to have a short spring training, but baseball will be back. I must be honest, I have missed baseball. You know, I'm a baseball fan. So then they'll be covering basketball and the Wizards and their lackluster performances lately. They started the season.
Lost again.
Oh, see,
Yeah.
I didn't even know that. See, I've been getting off of I've been getting off of NBA talk lately because it's just been a long day at work, and I'm like, I'll let Robbie finish up the show. And then they also have their March Madness special. Brian Brennan, a good friend of the show, he started his Final Four March Madness tournament page. If you can go check it out on my page, he put the link out. You can, he has some gifts and prizes for the winner. I'm not sure what it is, but hey, something for nothing. Put the tournament in, see what happens. You never know. I did good a couple of years ago, but I don't watch college. I was just picking teams and shit, and I think I was like 5th place. So
No, so you was lucky.
yeah, I was just boom. That sound good. Okay, that sound good, and it just worked out. I don't know shit about college basketball.
What?
I don't watch. I told you I don't watch no college sports, man.
Well, can I say something about college basketball?
What that is?
Norfolk State University, MEAC champion, 2nd year in a row. So, you know, I'm a Spartan, so I'm proud of them.
So I know somebody got pregnant the other
What?
night. After party.
Why do you have to
Because
be
I was
so
down,
ratchet?
I was around Norfolk State. I know what goes on down there.
First of all, not everywhere.
Exactly. You better stop yourself before you even make that statement. We both been down around Norfolk State.
You know
What do you
what?
think I got my child?
Exactly. And I was like, I wish a motherfucker would say so.
But it wasn't for a championship, okay?
Was it homecoming?
No.
They ain't no
Wait.
championship.
I got pregnant in March.
See,
Dang.
It was a championship?
Nah, but that wasn't the reason. We didn't win at that time.
Are you sure?
Very sure. Our basketball team was not as good as it is now.
Somebody scored.
Shut up.
and it's
But it was
good
in March.
from the baseline.
Somebody scored.
Anyway,
Somebody slammed
I am
dunk.
very proud.
Somebody
I am a
slammed
proud
dunk.
Spartan.
And one.
Y'all both ignorant.
That was a baby. And one.
It was a deployment. That's what it was.
The Spartans.
It was a deployment.
I'm shipping out. I need some.
Yeah, that's exactly what
I'm
happened.
gonna be gone for 6 months.
Yes, exactly.
Would you
What
call him
happened.
300 when it happened?
Yeah, he was leaving.
Oh
We
man.
be doing what they call workups. And yeah.
I just know
That was
Norfolk
so,
State.
such a wayward conversation.
I'm just saying, I just know around Norfolk State, so yeah.
Anyway,
Gotta have some
Norfolk
wild
State
stories.
University, HBCU, they won the MEAC tournament second year in a row, so I gotta get my new t-shirt, because I got my commemorative t-shirt from before. So.
What you got going on, ladies, in the internet?
So, I'm gonna see if I can bring some more gifts without coming after the show for my adventures this week. I didn't bring anything but Bailey's today, but
That was good.
yeah, Bailey's is amazing. Even though CP3 is scared of everything I bring in here.
I ain't scared of it.
What?
It's just not my flavor. I tasted, I didn't like it.
But you like the chocolate whiskey. I feel like it was similar.
Because the
It's
whiskey
less
actually had
burn.
I was gonna say it had more of a kick though.
Yeah.
It's like it's pointless.
Oh no, this is a sneaker.
Yeah.
It would sneak up on
By
me.
the time I drink enough, it's too late.
But it's some things that I can't let y'all know yet. After the show I can, but I can't say it on air. But it's some things coming up. I'm definitely gonna I'm preparing for this spring. So be on the lookout.
Definitely.
And we need to make a field trip, so I get that working.
Okay. So originally we are not supposed to do a show next week. Because I was supposed to be out of town, but we're not going out of town. However, there's a possibility I could be working on a new video with Renegade, so I think we'll take a week off.
That's cool, because after tomorrow night show, Sports OTHP taking 2 weeks off before our season 7
So
kickoff.
do us a favor and not get in trouble next week. Well, this weekend coming up.
Just saying.
I mean, I'm scared now because, when CP3 if he doesn't have Sports on the Hill, then he doesn't have at the bar, he has a lot of aggression when he comes back here.
And he's going to act a whole fool.
You guys said you wouldn't take off next week, so you know what you're getting into. I gave you the warning. We're taking off for 2 weeks. So if you want me after
You're
a
gonna be
week
like,
not
we
on
ain't
the
been
air,
here.
yeah.
We ain't been here, so let's go.
And
I'm
it's
like,
supposed to be
oh.
nice too, so yeah.
Oh, but I need you not to get in trouble, okay?
Just saying, man.
That's what I'm concerned about.
I'm gonna try, selling cars.
Don't make me pull up.
Come on down to Waldorf Honda if you're in the market. Got some new cars in. Price you can't beat. I know you got that tax money ready to get that new ride. Come down there and holler at me. Yeah, because that's what I used to do.
Why
Tax
you
money
sound like
was
a
right.
pimp?
Because we about to pimp these rides, baby.
Oh my God.
The gas prices going up.
Man.
You need a fuel efficient car.
Man.
If Accords get that good, that Accord get that 33 miles to the gallon, baby.
Y'all got hybrids in here?
Yeah, we do. I think we still
I'm
got
shocked
one.
that
Well, I
y'all
think
have any.
Well, the used one. I think somebody did buy.
I'm about to say, the way these gas prices going, I'm
Yeah,
like,
they've been flying
Hybrid
out
should
of
be the
there.
first thing to go.
right, I'm
Well,
like, hey, Tesla, how y'all doing today?
They
I'm worried.
definitely-
When I went to, I was by Alexander Hospital the other day, somebody did the crucial thing. They had their car parked in the parking lot next to a lamp pole, and I guess the lamp pole had a plug,
What?
and they were charging their car.
What kind of mess?
It looked really ghetto, but they was getting a free charge.
What kind of mess is... Lord. My vehicle takes premium, so y'all know I am hurting. Somebody was like, yeah, gas $4.19. I was like, it been $4.19 for like a month now. And they was like, no, regular? I'm like, oh, I forgot.
Yeah, I never use premium. I just use the fuel.
I have no choice.
You got a choice.
No,
Now-
yeah,
now
my
you're
car
used to
can
it
be
now.
trash
Well,
now.
yeah, because you've been indoctrinated to join all the years. But I
No,
always tell
no,
folks
no.
you don't have to put 93 when it says 93. You can use 89 and just use cleaner every 6 months to clean your
Let me tell you
injectors. It'll be
something.
just the same.
Every engine is not the same. You forgot what kind of vehicle I have.
I know. What
If I put, I'll tell you off air, but somebody put something lower than premium in my vehicle and it did not run right. I immediately noticed it.
Man, that's because your vehicle is used to it.
No. This is when I first got it.
Do it without 93. I had a vehicle that supposedly needed 93 and I never used 93 and it ran fine.
Did it say it on your gas tank that you're supposed to use that?
Yes, it did.
Not recommended, but they're telling you you can only use it. There's a difference between the two. There's a recommended and they're only use.
That was years ago. I don't know if the
Oh,
proper
well.
term was recommended or
Well, that's a big difference because if it was recommended, you best believe I would have used mid-grade.
Mama say, mama style, mama style.
So we're gonna end this with.
I'm gonna turn like there's something wrong with this.
We're gonna end this with Renegade. It Takes Two. CPP. Something wrong with you.
Something's really wrong with you. You can't comprehend.
You don't really know about me. I don't really know about you. When they ask what do it takes, I say it takes two. How you ever gonna doubt me? It was never really about me. When they ask what does it take, I say it takes two. Fussing and arguing every night. I know you left cause you ain't right. Treating you well, I pay the price. Now you doing it out spite. But you always think I need to be comfort. When you walk away and I just need a combo. When you hit me up and I was dead pronto. I guess both egos can fit in the condo. All these games that you play with me. To watch what you say to me. What you said all at first, it was fake to me. Tryna get me on my own, you ain't changing me. You could've had what she had. Searching for love, but it's all in my bag. Sorry you stopped, you been fucked up your past. I knew from the start that shit wouldn't last. But don't think I'm the one that's gonna wait on you. It's only me and you, I don't really care what they gon' do. I guess that's what this makes you. Counting all the wrongs it takes to. You don't really know about me. I don't really know about you. When they ask what do it takes, I say it takes two. How you ever gonna doubt me? It was never really about me. When they ask what does it take, I say it takes two.